taking on Greyhound Gaming. Now, both of these teams, very big fan favorites in the tournament. Both teams performing exceptionally well. You know, we talk about Tainted Minds, very, experienced team, a lot of players that have been in the scene for a long time. How does that stack up for a team like Tainted Minds?
Tainted Minds, I guess, have the luxury of having experienced players like Yaman who have travelled overseas and played for overseas teams, but they also have the luxury of having players like Ints and Zusi who are pretty much young guns, basically. They're young prodigies. They're 18, 19 years old, they have crazy aim, they're very keen on the game, and it's a perfect mix of players, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they were very strong last week on train. Had a few strong moments there. I mean, here we see Zusi finishing off his 4K from last week. He'd already picked up one earlier into the round here and just brickwalling Disorder here coming out onto the site. Good stuff here to see. And it's just as you mentioned as well, those big fraggers, and obviously the combination of the experience, works well for Tainted Minds.
Definitely.
And I mean, any sort of final points on Tainted Minds before we move on to talking about Greyhound?
Tainted Minds have actually been playing in a Chinese qualifier this week, as far as I know, and they've actually played very, very well. I've seen probably their player Ints has been the standout player this week, so I'd like to see what he can bring to the table. I feel like they're coming into this game with a lot of confidence, having played a lot of good teams this week, so they'll be coming into this game ready to roll.
I know both of these teams, have a lot of matches this evening as well, so it's a bit of a marathon for both of them. This is, I guess, the nice start for them this evening. Now, Greyhound Gaming, we always talk about Gratisfaction. Had a blinder last week, almost didn't die on Keish. I think he died maybe on T-Pistol,
yeah, he
where he was
once
just
on the pistol,
fumbling around trying to find a pistol, so one death in the entire game. Some lackluster performances there from Darksided, who they were up against, but it's so hard when you come up against a team like this. Look at that. Dick Stacey just finds the head there. Urcast will be able to find the second one, and Gratisfaction with a nice finish just onto this round just shows the defense here of Greyhound Gaming and the strength of Gratisfaction's AWP. And so that's something maybe for us to touch on there. So, some teams obviously just have that one dedicated AWPer, but, we see a lot of the time Burn pulling out the AWP as well. So what's the big difference between, Gratisfaction's AWP and Burn's AWP?
With Gratisfaction Sniper Rifle, it's more he just controls like the middle of the map, he controls the main choke points, and he pretty much just locks down every entrance that the terrorist side are going to be pushing in on the CT side, that is. On the CT side for Burn, he's more just holding the bomb site, so he's more just watching like a few entry points and covering some areas, whereas Gratisfaction just roams around the whole map basically doing whatever.
So, I mean, we talked about the experience, of the Tainted Minds players. For Greyhound, what's their biggest strength? There's obviously a lot of experience with these players as well. They've been around for a long time. But what are the big sort of, key pointers for Greyhound Gaming?
The thing I really like about Greyhound Gaming is I feel like they have a really solid 5-man lineup. All players bring something different to the team, and it seems like they're a team that just sticks to the basics quite well, and they don't really make many mistakes. They use their team flashes well. They're always trading kills. Their teamwork's just very on point, and also they have the individual aim and skill to back it up. So in my opinion, they probably have like the best teamwork in the country, so I feel like that's definitely a big positive for them.
Or in the region even, but thinking about it there, this is an extremely important matchup for these two teams, because obviously whoever gets this is looking to be very good to progress to the final as that first seed position, which means they won't have to play the semi-final for second and third, and they'll just go straight on to the final, just sitting there pretty in the throne, waiting for the winner of our semi-finals to meet them there. But obviously next up after that, we're going to have Order taking on Corvidae, and we talked about the importance of this, because if Corvidae somehow lose this and Darksided get themselves the win, they pop themselves into a tie, basically. It's going to come on to either round difference or the results from next week. So it's very exciting, these next two matchups here. For Order, they've been consistently improving. They've got a lot of these different players, that they play with in and out. Who's really good that we're looking for, in this game? Who needs to come out big?
Order, I guess it's a hard question to tell, because all of their players have sort of been up and down for these past few weeks. Sometimes you'll see Moe chipping in with some nice rounds, and you'll see Luke coming in with some nice frags. But overall, I feel like as a team, they've just had a few like nice individual rounds, and they haven't really popped off as a team as much. I feel like if they come into this game and all 5 players are firing on all cylinders, then they might have a shot.
All right, well, let's have a look at the big guns. Our first one is going to be Tainted Minds taking on Greyhound Gaming. This is going to be our first matchup of the night, and boy, is it going to be good. Am I not excited for this one, Tom?
I'm definitely excited for this game. This is going to be the penultimate game for the tournament, really. Both of these teams will be looking to make the final. They'll both be confident that they're going to be playing here in a few weeks' time for the final event. So I really do feel like this is the game.
What's your prediction?
That's a hard one. I honestly don't like answering this question, but I'm gonna have to go with Tainted Minds here. I've watched them play the last few nights overseas, and as I said before, Ince has been killing it. The team's high on confidence right now. As far as I know, they're all together at a LAN cafe, so they'll all be playing together, pumping each other up, giving each other, high five and whatnot. So I feel like Tainted Minds is gonna win this game 16-13.
I'm going to take it 16-12 to Greyhounds, but let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the action. Let's throw it over to our casters, Nutters and Wayfarer. Take us away, boys.
Yes, thank you very much, Dallas, and welcome everyone who is watching here tonight. I do think we've got an amazing matchup here tonight. It's going to be between Greyhound and Tainted. This is the match everyone has been waiting for the entire season.
Yeah, this match is the game that we've been looking for all this entire league. And what we're going to get tonight is going to be a real treat. It's going to show us the best talent in Australia and New Zealand. And to really highlight the fact, we've got 3 of the best players from New Zealand in this matchup. We've got Ofnu and Susu representing Tainted Minds, and we've got Gratisfaction for Greyhounds.
I think we've got an amazing matchup, and that's probably the key. As I say, everyone's been waiting the entire time. We've heard, obviously, the casters' predictions, and the presenters' predictions, and I'm going to have to disagree. I think there'll be a lot of chair slapping over at the Tainted Minds LAN Cafe, and if they're absolutely on point, I could possibly even see them possibly running away 16-7. You got any?
Oh, my prediction for tonight? So, I think Tainted Minds. I think I am with Tainted Minds tonight, but I think it could go either way. It's a really difficult call to make, but I have my reasons, and I think Tainted Minds just being able to go into tonight with the form.
Yeah, so obviously now that we can see, they've come through with a Mirage pick. It is going to see Tainted come up on that CT side. Now, that's obviously a preferred starting side for most teams. Mirage, a very Australian map, I suppose. Every team here can play it. Every team enjoys playing on it. And to see 2 of the top guns in this entire competition going, I suppose, head-to-head, do you think that this could be, I suppose, the key to, Tainted Minds getting a few rounds early?
Well, the last three times that these teams have met up on Mirage, Tainted Minds have won, and I think that's saying a lot. I'm really surprised that this map came through. So maybe Greyhounds have something to prove.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe they're just hoping that Tainted Minds aren't as good on it as they've beaten them every few times before. I mean, at the very least we can hope for is that we actually see an amazing game. I'd like to see this be possibly the first game heading over towards that overtime. It would be at least relatively enjoyable. Hopefully get us kicked off and really fire up for next week. And then, I suppose, yeah, we'll just be looking forward to seeing exactly where these 2 teams are sitting, who's going to come out on top, who's going to essentially take what could be the biggest tiebreaker of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And it's these types of matches that we get to see the best out of these players. It's the frustration, the anxious feelings that you get. It forces you to play bad CS, but this is where you have to come out and you have to shine. You have to step up to the challenge. I'm really looking forward to this match.
Yes, and we will be heading in, getting it live. Greyhound will come out. Urcast and Dexter both going for a bit of utility. Starting out on this T side could come quite in handy. Zusi will be man picking up a CZ and a smoke. Every other player for Tainted has just a little bit of armor. 2 players over towards that B site, a single player playing mid, and they're already pushing that early CT around towards the A site. And Ofnu gonna hit the first, gonna hit the second. Zusi's dropped Urcast, Ince takes out Dick Stacy, and Dexter barely 30 seconds into the round, and already 1 versus 3. He's looking to actually tap a couple down. He's managed to drop Inns, but with no armor, he's really got to try and get out here. He does still have control of the bomb, and he does in fact have a single flash and an HE grenade. But the problem is that player is already flanking him in from mid, heading straight into the path of Church. Church with that USP should have the dexterity to just one-tap him, but it will be a close one. There will be Church winning it out, as Tainted will knock it up to a very nice, simple, I suppose fast 1-0.
That was really impressive work from the firebox, which is a really key position for these good players. And we've seen it week in, week out with Zusi, with his 4K, how impressive players can play this position. it's going to have to be a focal point throughout this match where the players molly it or just focus fire through the by shooting through the box. But to see Ofnu open up with 2 amazing headshots is a really impressive way to start this match.
Yes, it's a lovely way to start, and Greatest Faction is actually going to be that one player that keeps it fully ecoed, looking to get that up out early. Urcast just going to push in, annihilate Susi with that 1 dig. Is able to pick up the UMP. He has a little bit of armor behind. He has a flash as well. He's still going to focus on using that deagle, as that 1-shot headshot potential is absolutely beautiful. Dexter going to be peeking around. Des spots and drops off Nu, and instantly we're seeing some prime time AUCS pulled out here. As Tainted, Dexter's dropping touch as well. He's going to push in for Yam. He's going to get the 3 taps. Picks him up, and that's a lovely triple. But now it's all on ends. 1 versus 4, trying to come out through the ladder room. He's looking for Dexter. He knows he must be playing somewhere close. Doesn't know if he's managed to make it out of that murder hole just yet. But the bomb will be planted, and Dexter will finish him off. A lovely 1 dig to clean up. And Greyhound straight back into it.
What a beautiful 4K from Dexter. Just doing that work with the deagle. It just goes to show it doesn't matter what gun that these guys have. They're equipped to do damage. They're just so talented. We've got a game on our hands, mate.
It's going to be an absolute stunner. Greatest Faction, I suppose he was sort of saving up to try and get an AWP out, but as it is, he's able to just sort of get a bit of armor, get a bit of utility, and have that scout dropped over to him. Dexter, well, no wonder he's pulled out an AK. He's basically earned it all for himself. Tainted will pull out a couple of deagles, CZs, see what they can do. Church the only player to put armor behind it, and it is actually going to be almost 3 players stacked mid, and Ofnu, he's going to get the taps away. Manages to drop Urcast, but Greatest Faction will get a trade back almost immediately. Takes Yam straight out of the game. Single smoke will come over just to block off that top con. Greatest Faction just holding for the bottom push, but it will actually be Tendermines just backing away, playing it very calmly.
And just so players know, the X-ray is only for us to see. The players can't see it, so the outline around the players, only we can see that.
Yes, as Church has actually got himself into an aggressive position now, pulling in behind the T's, but it has left the B site wide open. They are expecting a flank and a push onto this A site. Sadly, that's not going to be happening, as Tainted will be able to push round. Sorry, Greyhound will get that entire site to themselves. Tainted will have to actually push and try and find an entry back in onto this B site, but that player in market is going to be absolutely crucial, possibly cutting off 1 to 2 of these CTs. As Ims looks for Dexter, won't be able to hit him. Greatest Faction just going to flash in, give Burn a chance, but Greatest Faction, he's got the angle on short. He's going to be the man dropping off Nu. And the 3 remaining CTs may just be worth them trying to save the pistols. And indeed, Church looking for exits, as will Zusi and Inns. Greyhound have just come out nicely.
It was information play from Church on B halls, B apartments, the push. They were taking a risk by stacking 3 players on A site. The point of that being is that they're going up against rifles from pistols. So they're trying to create an advantage on another point of the map, with the risk that, you know, the B side is completely open. And they were just unlucky that it didn't fall in their favour.
Yeah, they'll be looking for a little bit more luck, and as you can see, Tainted Mines, all of their pings lining up rather nicely. They're obviously still sitting there, getting those chair slaps out in that LAN cafe, wherever they may be playing. I do believe over in Perth, actually. But Greyhound, they're just going to keep the weapons that they have. They don't have too much to worry about with Tainted, and it could actually be a free 3rd round. Dexter looking to make a little bit of noise over towards A, but it has been a 5-man B stack from Tainted. They are going to push up onto short, look for something, but all these T's just going to head back, pick up that bomb, and make their way over to that A site, ready to just push out any sort of execute. They've got the smokes that they need. Dexter's already made a little bit of noise, but now the rest of these players will have their time. As it is, it's still going to be those 5 players towards B for Tainted, and they're not going to be getting anything out of this. All the smokes, everything heading out over towards the A site, but there isn't a single player there to receive. Greyhound will have a free site, but already the player has pushed up connector, and Greatest Faction looking towards that CT area. Grat will be able to put a bomb down, and now a 5-on-5 retake situation. Not too often you see these. We'll start out with Yam picking up the first few taps onto Burns' head. Dexter still sitting in Palace, and he's just here often take a lot of damage. As Dick Stacy looking for this. All 4 players that are pushing onto the site get flashed. Dick Stacy picks up a double. Dexter's assisting in there with 1. Urcast picks up Yam. And now it's just going to be Chutch. He falls at the hands of Urcast as well. And Greyhound, they knock it up to a 3-1. Turning Minds will finally be able to get a buyout.
I really like it. The classy play from Greyhounds. The slow execute onto A side, not leaving any room for mistakes, clearing every corner, every spot. It's really good play because the AKs against the pistols, it still overpowered them. But going into this round, we've got the AWP on Yam, but that's going to change everything. This is going to be an exciting buy round.
Yam is actually going to get his way straight up onto short. That smoke, he's got the gap through it, expecting the flash, looks for it, and he gets flashed himself. He does have to look away. And it does allow Dexter a free passage into that mid area. Knowing that hole in the smoke, Dexter did not see him either. He was full white. But this smoke over into the mid window should give Yam at least that little bit of information that player is going to be in mid. But no, Dexter will drop him. And that AWP has absolutely changed nothing there, Chris. And I'm sorry to say, you were slightly wrong. It will be, however, a push onto the A site. Flank coming through. Often is able to drop 1, but Urcast immediately on that trade back. Chutch holding close to the smoke. What? He does spot the player in the end. He does mention drop Dick Stacy down to that 3 versus 3. The bomb still to be planted, has been dropped in the middle of the site. And 2 players not even on A site. Urcast essentially trapped in Palace. The 2 players still having to rotate up through that mid or connector area. Looking for something, and Dexter is able to drop Chutch in that mid window. Now allows them to push towards the B site, and I don't know if they know exactly where the bomb is. Burn. He spotted Zeusy. He knows he's there. He's going to be able to get the kill. Doesn't get the taps into the face, but still works out. Urcast will be able to drop ins. And without even getting the bomb down, Greyhound have knocked it up to a 4-1. And already it feels like they're making us eat our words.
Oh, that was exciting. That worked. The amount of skill that Yam has to use to be able to get out window onto catwalk, that is such a hard play. Like, experienced pros do that, and they have to be flawless, and they can't make room for mistakes. But what came back towards him was Dexter playing a perfect counter. He crossed the smoke line, knowing that it was open, with a perfect flash from his teammate. The way he played Yam was just beautiful.
I do wonder if these 2 teams have actually studied up on each other on Mirage, maybe got an idea. I mean, Greyhound have all reason to, as Gratisfaction and Burn will pick up the first 2 kills. A nice, lovely tap there from Inns. We'll be able to drop Dick Stacy, but Burn gets that immediate trade back. As I was saying, you do have to wonder, maybe Greyhound have revised a little bit on Tainted Minds. They know that they've been beaten 3 times previously. Right here, same map, essentially same place. You've got to know that maybe Yam does. He tries to push that short area. So maybe that flash just coming in, rather than trying to focus on that mid-window player, they are trying to focus it more on Yam, where he may be playing. Urcast will upgrade ever so slightly, but I mean, he's not
Definitely. These 2 teams, they've been watching each other's demos. I mean, we have Greyhounds with a 19-game win streak and Tainted Minds with a 20-game win streak. These 2 teams want to win. This is for the first seed in this tournament. This means a lot going forward.
Yeah, and as you say, first seed, barring any upsets next week as well. Or some absolute magic coming out later. Maybe we see Corvidae win 2 more games and then all of a sudden they're at the top. It'll be magical, beautiful, however unlikely.
At this stage, it's very unlikely another team's looking to beat them. But what I really like is Corvidae. I do really have to push Corvidae. They have been improving week in, week out. Whether they have enough time to be able to match the level of these 2 teams, I'm not too sure, but it's exciting.
Yeah. Urcast will finish off Zeusy, brings Greyhound into that 5-1 lead. And I have to ask you, Chris, by any chance do you have a man crush on Iron?
Pardon?
Do you have a man crush on Iron?
Do I have a
I mean, look,
crush?
you talk him up, you talk up Corvidae.
I mean, I love quality play. I love star players. I love when people step up. No, I have a lot of man crushes, you know? It's just the quality of the game. I love the play.
Oh! Gratisfaction, though. He's able to drop Zeusy. Ins right in there with the refrag as they both try and cross that A main line. Yeah, I'm expecting these players close. They're playing a double up on the A site. One player looking towards Palace, but Yam will be the man to pick up Burn, pick up Urcast. Can't pick up Dick Stacy, but Dick Stacy will push around. He has managed to smoke off Ins. He can put another smoke down, but Dexter and Dick have to find multiple frags between them. And indeed, Dexter will be able to find Offnu. He's going to try and put the Molotov down, force Ins away. But he's not expecting Chutch pushing up the stairs. Both players heading towards CT. Dexter won't fall. They now know where at least one of these players is. I don't know if they've seen Dick Stacy. Flash is going over. Chutch just going to try and get close to the bomb, but it is planted for both of these players. Dick Stacy ready to Molotov it off. They haven't heard it defuse. They will have now. He's going to put that Molotov down, and that will just force the player off for the moment. Chutch has dropped Dexter. Dick Stacy still hiding around the corner, just letting it tick down. They are going to be able to hold them off. Chutch is going to get there. Inns has dropped Dick Stacy. Plenty of time on that bomb, as Chutch does have a kit. And Tainted Minds, the double up setup, it works. And they finally picked up their second round.
That was really impressive. Dexter almost brought it back for Greyhounds. He might have made a major mistake getting picked when that bomb was still mollied off, but it was an excellent round. Back and forth all the way, and I think that's how this game's going to play out.
Might have just been in for the element of surprise. He thinks the bomb's Molotoved off. He thinks that, oh, well, they're not going to expect me to peek. Maybe he can get a kill. He gets unlucky. Dick Stacy can't get in there either. He hears that defuse. No matter what, it just was not looking too good for Greyhound. That nade got absolutely chunk Urcast and Dexter down. So they have less than 100 points of health between them, but the push will come straight up connector. Both of these players looking to get some frags. Burn is going to fall. Inns has managed to drop Urcast. And already Dexter gets a single trade back. But Dick Stacy's already made it around to Sandwich. He will be dropped. Inns still just holding this line, looking for a third. Zeusie's already on the flank. Where did he come from? Dexter drops at the hands of Yam. And Tainted have made it 2 in a row. Greyhound still have at least a little bit of money to play with. But my goodness, how things are changing.
Well, the CTs, they've got economy now. They've got a full set of nades. They can use their smokes, mollies. They can get map control and delay those executes from Greyhounds. We've seen previous rounds, Greyhounds have been able to get the bomb down quite quickly and still have 50 seconds to be able to rotate people in behind. The game's changed now. They're not going to have that free space. Yeah, going forward, we're still seeing Yam trying to make big plays. It's hit or miss with him, but when he hits, he gets 1 or 2 entries, and it just sets the momentum of the team.
Yeah, quite often when you're talking about entries, you only expect it to be, I suppose, CTs on a retake. You don't usually expect a CT to just entry players as aggressively as Yam can. And he plays that sort of surprise role. And he's absolutely crucial when he is playing that, but Burn is going to get flashed. Yam, he's peeking mid so late. All these players right there waiting for him. He's just going to back out. He uses his brain. He knows as soon as a bullet flies towards him that he's essentially spotted out, and these 3 players will be able to just keep that control. Urcast pushing from unders. Dexter, the only player not on that mid area with them. And I do wonder if maybe Greyhound need to change their attack towards that B site, given just how many rounds don't seem to be going, well, I suppose the previous 2 rounds not going in their favour.
Wow.
But Urcast, he's dropped off now through that nice little wooden wallbang. Gratisfaction has dropped Zeusy. Dexter annihilates Yam. A wide open A site, leaving Chutch and Inns on that rotate. It won't actually be on the rotate, though. They are already looking to save before the bomb's gone down. And I do feel like Greyhound are almost looking to hunt them here. They know that this could be at least a relatively soft reset of that tainted economy. And even then they do. They hold off on putting that bomb down. They want to give themselves as much time to find these CTs as they possibly can. They will find Chutch, but not do any damage to him as of yet. He will be able to drop Burn. Doesn't make it any more likely on any sort of retake, but they are now going to get pushed in and flanked from all angles. Inns keeping an eye on towards Market. Chutch is actually going to get the majority of the damage off. I think that's down towards Urcast. They're all just flanking. They don't care if they lose the money or the weapons. The Gratisfaction will drop Chutch. Inns is able to pick up Dick Stacy on that flank, and Dexter with the cleanup. Greyhound will pick up another round and extend their lead, get it back up to 6-3. And as I said, it is that reset of the Tainted Minds economy.
Yeah, that's huge. 6-3 on the T side on Mirage. That's a great start for Greyhounds. It's saying a lot about their teamwork. I have so much to say about their patience. They had 45 seconds left without being able to hit a bomb site, but they sat on connector and they waited for the kill, and it just set up the rest of the round. It was 30 seconds. The bomb hasn't even gone near planting. It was a nice play. I just love that patience, that discipline, that something will come. They played it out nicely.
Yeah, and Greyhound, they do have those 4 AKs up, which will be relatively, I suppose, supplementary to the AWP of Gratisfaction. Now, it doesn't really matter exactly what they're going to do with it, as they are up against that full eco of Tainted Minds. Oh,
yeah.
I say full eco, I mean, they've got a couple of CZs out, but
Yeah.
Overall, that doesn't affect their economy as much as trying to get a rifle or something of the like. Even SMGs up.
Well, the T-side players right now, they're playing really defensive. They're trying to get a grip and a read on the CT players. They're still not too sure whether or not they have guns, whether or not they have armor. They're slow playing it, using their rifles, playing as a team, sticking, making sure that they're trading together and not dropping any rifles for the CT players to be able to get control of the rifles and potentially control of the bomb side and the round.
Yes, indeed, as they have now decided to move all these CT players over towards the A site, and I do believe actually rotating a couple out, but the smoke's coming over. They're going to be heading straight back to A. This could be crucial if Tainted are able to get up an early pick. Zusi going to get a bit of damage off, but he doesn't get the double tap. That'll be a double coming through. Burn and Greyhound, Greatest Faction combining, leaving Offnu with a single point of health, just avoiding every rain of bullets. And Dexter will drop him. Greyhound knocking up to a 7. One more round, and this is the entire T half coming out guaranteed positive.
Dexter going absolutely huge with 14 frags. He is making a statement. He has come tonight to show that he is also one of the star players in Greyhound. Do not overlook me. I'm one of the best players in Australia. I can make this game completely different. We can win it.
Yeah, Dexter looking to get a bit of that mid control early for himself. Yam pops a shot through the smoke, expecting this. And Dexter, yet again, he gets that flash perfect. He knows exactly that Yam is possibly going to be playing that aggressive position, but Offnu, he won't be expecting him. He knows that Dexter's going to be here. Dexter not expecting, and Offnu will drop him. But the first time we've seen Greyhounds go for a direct push onto this B site, and it does instantly drop Urcast. Greatest Faction and Burn, though, they get the trades back. Smoke will go down into the window, and already Greyhound, they've got control of that site. They've brought it down to the 3 versus 3. And Offnu just jump spotting, spotted by Burn. Head ripped off. In's trying to push through, but already they are looking to save those weapons. It's only a UMP and an AWP, but absolutely crucial is that Burn just missed those players, I believe, as Inns is going to look to re-peek him, possibly get the frag, and he will be able to drop him. Still doesn't get them any closer to a defuse, and Greyhound have now guaranteed themselves at least these 8 rounds, and that guarantees them at least the first half.
Oh, this is huge. I mean, Greyhounds, after plants like scenario just then, that was a 3v5. It just goes to show they're really trading their teammates so well and making the most of the opportunities that they have. To the after plant scenario, they just totally cut off the rotation, and that was so important. It was huge to see. Shutting down Yam on Cat from balcony, that was beautiful from Grad. I'm just loving this. And going into this round, again, CT players efficient chances.
It's weird. The double up setup, it's worked, once or twice for Tainted Minds. Sadly for them, they're still trying to keep it up. And obviously, Inns, he has that little bit of armor in behind it. 5 players almost towards mid for Tainted. They have rotated 2 back out. Inns will be playing that AWP. Angle into Palace. And yet again, smoke's coming over from Greyhound. Inns looking to get aggressive, looking for at least 1. He pops the shot off, but he's not going to hit anything. Yam drops Dexter through the smoke. Lovely work from him, expecting these players possibly close as well. But Burn will be able to drop off Nu. Just caught him out, probably on radar there, as Zusi drops Dick Stacy, leaving that single player in the smoke. It is Zusi. Urcast will drop him. But now Inns and Yam, they do have the 2 AWPs up, and they do have the bomb down. Relatively close to triple stack. Inns will be able to drop Urcast. Now they know where he's playing from. They don't know exactly where Yam is at the moment, I don't believe. But it does get us into that 2 versus 2. Burn and Grat both have that full armor. The problem for Yam is if he doesn't hit this shot first time before he's spotted out, that aim punch is going to absolutely annihilate any shot he has. Inns is going to be able to find and drop Greatest Faction, leaving Burn in that 1 versus 2. But now they both know where Burn is. He's going to re-peek it. No need for that. Yam will drop him. No kit, no clue, doesn't even matter, they get it. And Tainted will pick up their 4th round. Can they now, I suppose, turn this into 7?
Well, that's what they're going to have to do. Going into the... Greyhounds are going to have a really formidable CT side on Mirage. We know that, because it's a CT-sided map, traditionally. This is a really shaky lead for Tainted. This is a really shaky game at the moment. Tainted Minds are definitely going to be anxious. They're going to be worried. But they have confidence. They're one of the best teams in Australia for a reason, and that's because they can come back when they're down. They can find the answers. Momentum, they get it. It's going to change everything.
You also have to wonder whether they are focusing as hard at the moment. Whether they're definitely in this to annihilate Greyhound, whether they're just trying to play that slow game. Maybe they're looking more so onto their own T side. Maybe they've picked up some new strats. I mean, Ferg, he's an amazing player. He's an amazing coach. He's been through thick and thin with them. And I do wonder, maybe they've just got a little bit of magic up their sleeve still.
Definitely. Ferg does a lot of work for this team, and his workload right now will be through the roof. Studying opponents, studying opposition, studying their vetoes and their map selections. This game, Greyhounds, they would have been looking for this, probably a little bit more than Tatum Mines. They're bringing their A game. They're telling them right now, Australia, New Zealand, look out, we're the best.
Yeah, Zusi's managed to get a lovely tag off onto Dexter there as he's trying to peek out around the corners, and Zusi will be able to drop him. Picks up a nice early kill, but Greyhound, they've left themselves 40 seconds here, trying to execute at least a few smokes onto that A site. It will be to try and get themselves around, I believe, onto short, try and get the way onto that B site, and those smokes landing will give that Q away. Tainted don't have to rotate anybody off of that B site or towards the B site, as Inns is going to actually still be just peeking into apartments. All four of these players coming from short. Grat will be able to drop touch. Inns, though, instantly there for the refrag next to Van, puts the flash up, looking for some more. Zusi drops Urkast. Stacey's able to get a trade back, down to that 2 versus 3. Gratisfaction with that orb. That's certainly crucial. Drops Zusi as he tries to push the door. And now Yam and Ofnu. Both players have kits, but neither has much utility. A single smoke. That'll be Yam. Falling at the hands of Grat. Orb versus Orb. And Dick Stacey peeks around, drops Ofnu. 9 rounds to Greyhound. And yet again, the money is not looking good for Tainted. And they've only got 2 rounds left in the half.
Gratisfaction went absolutely huge. It's so hard to get the entry kill. He has one little pixel to shoot, and he got it. He nailed it. Gets the entry onto B site, and his containment of the CTs being able to get through market onto site. What a superb job. He just understands every move they're going to make, and he's there looking. He doesn't miss.
I think the problem is you obviously promoted that Dexter was up at 14 kills, and Gratisfaction's just taken that as a challenge. Dexter hasn't moved on that. And Gratisfaction's just decided, you know what, I'm just going to try and catch up. He's picked himself up, and he's on to 13 as well. And yet again, the thing that's, I suppose, Greyhound are finding very crucial is, once they've got that mid control, and they know that Tainted can't do an awful lot with it, they just pick a site, and it's almost free. They're almost guaranteed a bomb plant. Urkast, he's going to fall. There's nobody there to refrag him. And instantly, Greyhound now have to decide where they're going for. And Gratisfaction, going to go for the peak. Gets it onto Yam, the lovely little run boost.
Techies.
That was beautiful. And Ofnu, he's now actually caught in bottom mid. He may or may not be expecting one of these players. Burn doesn't spot anyone around that smoke. Yet again, Ofnu though, he's going to be spotted out and dropped by Dexter.
Timing.
Not expecting a late refrag here.
Zusi's still on the UMP. This is somewhat amazing. I am really surprised with the double AWP setup that these AWPs haven't been able to find an entry on the defense.
Instantly, Dick Stacey's able to push out. He annihilates Church, and once more Tainted, they're forced into a save so soon for the simple fact that it's coming up to the 15th round. They need this AWP up. Zusi, if you could get a better weapon, then all good for him, but the only one that was dropped was Urkast's. And already, you know, Greyhound have got a player watching. They're already on the hunt. Burn, he's only got an AK. He doesn't mind losing that. They know that they've got the money. He may as well just try and find one of these players.
What we're seeing here is Greyhounds counter the AWP players. We're seeing smokes in all the favourite positions of Ints and Yam. They aren't able to get the shots where they like to make them. They're totally countering them. Right, that round, we've got Ints and Yam. Traditionally, you set up your AWP players in a position where they can get the first line of sight onto the enemy opponents. They're not getting that. Greyhounds are getting the first pick, they're getting the entry onto site.
I do actually have to wonder if anybody was expecting this. I mean,
This is
Gratisfaction, he just jumps over and Yam, he's just up, he's
Techies.
not ready.
Yeah. It's an oddity in the game. He's doing something that's not done often, and the CT players just are not ready for it. It's totally caught them off guard.
Do you expect someone to just fly through the air over the top and just appear out of nowhere? No, you don't. It's just a perfect play. And Greyhound they're abusing the game.
That's the level that this game is going to. It's being able to create new plays, new ideas, This game's been out for 20 years, and players are still coming up with new tricks. It's just amazing what you can do.
Yeah, talking about new tricks, Tainted Minds have to pull one of those out of the bag here to at least get themselves a 5th round on their CT side. I'm almost concerned that if they don't play out something amazing here, it's going to be all over as soon as Greyhound hit that CT side. I've just got no idea.
Well, we've seen Greyhounds get the momentum. We're going into this new round with a smoke execute. Greyhounds won it. 11 rounds, it's going to be really impressive. Tainted Minds want the 5th. It's just going to give them an extra buy round, potentially more confidence going into the anti-echoes, force buys.
Yeah, so Dick Stacey is going to be able to push into connector and annihilate ins. Now opens up at least one side of the A site. Burn will look to execute, and that smoke's going to go over. Zeus is going to get aggressive. Spots Burn, but Burn will get the frag. Dick Stacey's dropped off. New wide open A site. The execute does not even matter. Yam, he wishes that was an AWP right now. It is only a scout. Chutch with just a CZ. That's 1 for Dick Stacey. Yam will get a single back, but he needs 4 more to even stand the slightest of chances. That bomb has been planted. It's, would you say this is already 11-4? Maybe not. He has managed to drop Burn. He looks for Urcast. But Greyhound, they seal it out. 11-4. T-half.
Massive. Like, I don't know what to think. I did not expect that. I did not expect 11 rounds on T side. That is huge. But we're seeing Gratisfaction perform once again. We're seeing Greyhounds win an impractical. Oh, we got a technical pause, guys. Could be Tainted Minds. They know the pressure's on them right now to win this pistol round.
I do have to wonder. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're having technical issues. I mean, they are all playing at a LAN cafe together in Perth. We all know just how Australian internet can be. Could be a little bit odd, but I suppose a crucial player so far, you know, you pointed out Dexter. He was absolutely in this early in the game. He just came out absolutely popping. He's doing beautiful. We look at this one with the Deagle. Of all things, he goes through. He manages to annihilate Offnu. This is that anti-eco as well. He destroys Chutch, and he's looking for him. It's just...
That's a massive round. That's so important. Yeah, they were going to have a full save the following round. It was a massive play. Just goes to show, like, he's an IGL, the in-game leader for this team. He calls the strategies, coordinates his team. He's also a Deagle specialist, and he makes plays like that on a daily basis. Yeah,
and I suppose one thing we also didn't see was that lovely 1D he got on ends through the vent into ladder room just to finish that off. But as it is, we are now going to be heading through onto the pistol round. Tainted Minds will be looking for something. They have got a little bit of utility there, trying to burst out onto this B site. Chutch will be able to drop. Pushes around, Burn's going to fall. Yam picks up the first kill, looking for some more. Chutch will drop Dick Stacey, and already this B site wide open. Plant set to come through. Gratisfaction looking to come in from short. He's already pushed around that smoke. And looking for one of these players. Yam will drop him. And already it looks like Tainted are the kings of pistol rounds.
Wow.
Dexter hits a lovely shot onto Chutch. Inns won't be expecting him in this sort of position, so possibly peeking around here. Dexter looking. We'll be able to drop Inns with the one tap again. Looking for some more. Looking for Yam. No! Yam will drop him, but Urkaz coming from shot. He will be able to drop Zeusy. Still looking. 2 versus 1. Urkaz, he can clutch. He can bring these back, but he does not have time. He's just going to be looking. If he can get a kill, he'll drop Yam. He won't be able to drop Offnu. He'll get out of there. But sadly, 4 kills coming out there for Greyhound. 4 kills coming out for Tainted, but the round obviously going in Tainted's favour. My goodness.
Now we're only 6 rounds behind. Economy's now in the T side favour. This game is definitely going to go the distance. We're going to see Tainted Minds carry this momentum forward. Winning that pistol round was just what they needed.
Yeah, so this time round, we're going to see Dexter play out a Deagle. And I do have to wonder whether he's going to pull out something amazing yet again. I mean, we saw Zeusy with a Deagle in the other week. I believe it was week 2. Saw him with a Deagle. He came out absolutely clutch, absolutely annihilated. And I do wonder whether maybe Dexter's going to try and take over that crown. Wonder if he can get the Deagle ace on the anti-eco. Yam, he's dropped Dexter. Urkaz will be able to take Chutch right back, though. He's forced that UMP, and they do expect him, but putting that straight down under the smoke, it's going to do absolutely nothing to Urkaz. Zeusy's managed to drop Gratisfaction. And now Burn and Dick Stacey always love seeing the 5-7 come out over a CZ, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just that running accuracy makes it feel slightly smoother in your hands. And as such, we'll still leave Greyhound with that man disadvantage. Make it a 2-man disadvantage. Zeusi's going to drop Urcast. Dixacy gets one back from the flanks, though. Burn tries. Ofnu will drop him. And Tainted, they pick up their 6th round. Nothing too special in terms of strats there coming through from Tainted Minds. Greyhound will now be forced down to that full eco. Just going to be pulling out those USPs. Single flash on Urcast. And Tainted Minds, well, they've still got those 2 AKs up. Mac 10s looking to farm a bit of cash if they can. Pushing to mid from Dick Stacey and Burn. That'll be Chuch and Inns combining. Inns gets another. Inns gets a 3rd, but Inns falls at the hands of Urcast. Now left in the 1v3. If he can get his hands on a weapon, he'll be pretty happy. But just going to hold up in the ladder room. Sorry, in window room. Will have heard the player, and Ofnu will still pick him up. Nice and easy.
Yeah, well, for the CT players, when you've only got a USP, no armor, no nades or anything, you really aren't hoping for much.
Nah,
It's really difficult with no guns going against rifles and MP9s and Mac 10s and all that jazz.
Yeah, I suppose Gratisfaction, he's not going to just get the AWP out early on the CT side, so he'll just have to hold off. Yem will pull it out early for the Ts, though. Not too sure if they've read the economy exactly as they would have liked to. Gratisfaction, if he had an AWP out as well, I could see Yam's need for it. At the same time, if he wants to pull it out, he can do what he wants. But down to 59 points of health, Ofnu won't actually take any damage from that nade, but Dick Stacey still picks him up as he pushes the smoke. And Tainted, already a man down on this first rifle round.
I liked the initial aggression from Ofnu, but pushing through the smoke, that's so dangerous. Not a risk I thought was worth it.
Gratisfaction was looking for Inns just through the edge of the wall. Seeing if he can find anything, but nothing will come of it. A smoke will head out into that mid window. And what may just be a push over towards this B site. Gratisfaction is just going to be holding back. He's going to make his way towards that top connector area. Just keep his eyes clear. Keep an eye out for these players, as it looks like it will be an A site push. Gratisfaction looks like the absolute crucial key in this round for Greyhound. If he picks up an early kill, he prevents so much here. But these players just not making any noise. Now they know where he is. They'll be expecting this push out as well. And that could have already been all over now for Tainted. Trying to get out. They've only got 20 seconds to play with. Gratisfaction, he's backed away. Inns still going for this push. They're looking for something. Inns will be able to drop Dexter. Zeus, takes out Dick Stacey for Urcast. Holding tight in sandwich. That'll be another for Burn. Down to the 2 versus 2. Gratisfaction, he peeks out. He drops the bomb.
Wow.
Backs away. He just has to stay alive now. There's almost no chance of it. Taps down. Gets his tag onto Zusi. He has to hold this plant. He will. But he's going to get dropped by Gratisfaction. And as I said, the crucial player in this round gets his hands on an AWP as well. And Greyhound right back into it, picking up the first rifle round.
I love the trades from the CTs on the Ts. I thought the Ts got a good grasp with the entries onto A site, but they were really struggling because they were a man down right from the start with that push from Ofnu. At 4v5, it just came down to trades. Great play from the CTs.
It's weird, you actually look at the scoreboard and nobody seems out of place. It's almost like everyone's in sync, everyone's sort of between that sort of 9 kill threshold, maybe that 16 kill threshold. Nobody's, I suppose, a shining star. Nobody's going too hard, nobody's going too soft. It feels like this is a fully team-oriented game at the moment. You don't feel like anyone's being left out, you don't feel like anyone's just doing too much. Although, the T's looking to get an execute straight out onto this A site. All these flashes, all these smokes. Dexter's just going to put one up. He's going to get around the smoke. Picks up one, gets the transfer. No, he doesn't. No. He drops at the hands of Ofnu. Gratisfaction drops Chuch. Burn will be able to drop Ofnu in the end. And already Yam and Inns ever so slightly tagged. Both players caught around that sandwich and stairs area. Inns is going to get done out by the incendiary. Urcast will drop him, and Yam. Oh no, that's the bomb. In a bit of a pickle at the moment, you'd say.
A huge pickle. That was... Did you see that A main play Did you see how that CT played it? He completely flashed the first 2 players coming out as they ran through the smoke. He got the first kill, transferred, sprayed him down, and actually transferred back thinking he had killed him. That's where he made the mistake.
Instantly in there. Burn will drop Yaman.
That's the double AWP.
They're going to opt for the double AWP as well. Actually trading out an AK as well for that. Something you just can't get easy on the on that CT side. They're obviously trusting that this double AWP is going to pay off.
We've seen the double AWP at full power do damage. It's great for map control. It's not so great for retakes. You want to be able to stop them before they get close enough to get these XQs. And we're seeing a fast play out A main, which is exactly what you need to see with a double AWP setup.
Yeah, pushing into mid. Urcast with the MP9 is able to drop off Nu. Spots and drops Zeusy as well, but we do have to remember it is just the eco for Tainted. They don't have all that money, they don't have much in behind them, no armor really. So Urcast will rip through them with that MP9, and he's kind of that first player you want them to meet anyway. You don't want them getting up close to your AWP, maybe getting a couple of tags off. He'll drop Church, and
Yes.
will be able to 1D him through the smoke.
I love the MP9 against no armor. You can have so much fun. I have so much fun playing, and watching Urcast play with the MP9 just now brings back so many memories.
It's just a sewing machine.
It's a highlight reel. We saw Shox use it in a major, and he totally mowed down everybody, and everyone was like, "This is a viable gun. We can use this," and they implemented it into their matches. It's crazy. I love it.
What would you rather buy, an MP9 or a UMP? Both cost the same. Why not just grab that
Wait,
MP9?
MP9 or an M4?
MP9 or an AWP?
MP9. Give me the MP9. Yeah.
I do actually have to wonder whether that is... We'll have to see if it's going to be viable. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. But this player, Inns, is going to fall at the hands of Greatest Faction, leaving Yam 1v4. Looking to pop out the window. Gets a little bit of damage onto Dick Stacy. But Greyhound, 14-7 up. This is going to... this is not a position either of us expected this match to be in.
It was that first half. I knew that both teams were coming ready for this matchup. I knew it. We knew that it was important. But it is a surprise. I mean, Tainted Minds have beaten Greyhounds in their last 3 matchups on Mirage. Obviously, Greyhounds, they've gone over that footage. They've realized what they need to do. And they're playing beautiful. I love everything about this game.
Yeah, Zeus is going to get hyper-aggressive into mid early. Greatest Faction with the no-scope. But he's going to fall at the hands of Inns. Dexter looking to flash over for his teammate, but no, already out is Yam. He's going to fall, expecting. Dexter picks up the second onto Chutch, looking for this match point. And Greyhound, boy, have they put themselves in a good position to try and pick it up. Inns and Offnu now, 2 versus 4, heading towards their A site. Why go there when Dexter's on fire? I don't know. It's basically Dexter's laboratory at the moment.
Huge. Those team flashes are amazing. They're on point. They're peaks. They're assistants. It's Dexter's going in for the kills, but it's the team flash from Burn and Urcast that are assisting them in getting into these positions. There's so much intricate details to this quality of play. I'm just flabbergasted with what we're seeing right now and how far these 2 teams have progressed. Greyhounds especially.
This is absolutely beautiful. Grat, he's holding that mid angle. He's just waiting for one of these players. I wouldn't be surprised if he just pops off a shot through the smoke, hits someone, hits something, hits anything. It's just a Grat thing to do. But they're looking for mid. Grat, go on, just do it. Nah, he's not going to hit anything. He does back away, gives up that little bit of mid control. And that nade does a little bit to end. Jack Urcast is able to get aggressive, drops Chutch. And as such now, Tainted Minds in a very poor position. Needing 8 rounds in a row. It's not looking awful likely. Grat will be able to drop Inns, but Yem, single 1D starts it off, trying to get this working back in their favor. On short though, Burn will drop him. Zeusy now left 1 versus 4. Greyhound may just have cemented themselves as our top seed for the Let's Play Live Alpha Invitational. Indeed they have.
And there we go. That was mind-blowing. Greatest Faction, we know he's been on point, but that was phenomenal. What he's doing with the AWP right now is just unreal. Pixel shots all across the map. Everywhere he goes. Reactions are just insane.
I've got absolutely no idea what he's up to.
Whatever
whatever he's doing is working.
I can't even play that like that in my dreams. Like, just to see that, what he's capable of doing, it's unbelievable.
I really want to see him on land now. That's basically guaranteed that Greyhound are going to be coming right here to the Sky Tower.
Yeah,
it has almost cemented them as the first seed for the tournament.
Yeah.
Barring, as I said, many upsets next week. But Greyhound, I wouldn't even say they came into this entire thing as favourites. We would have put Tainted Minds just above them. But they've really just hit their peak during this season.
Like, I'm a big fanboy of my boy Grat, you know, long-standing history. Just to see him succeed like this, see him at his full potential. Like, we all knew he could do it, and now he's doing it. And he gets to come to Sky City on home soil. Like, he's going to be missing home to get here. He's going to be amped. You know, I'm going to be giving him, well, you know, no bias casting, but, you know, I just love to support the Kiwis, and that was a superb match.
Yeah, so talking of supporting Kiwis, we're going to have to go back and support one of our presenters, and I'm going to have to throw this right back over towards you, Dallas.
Thank you very much for that, Nutters. And if you're just joining us, we've just seen Greyhound Gaming take down Tainted Minds in very spectacular fashion. I mean, against both of our predictions as well, Tom. 16-7. What an absolutely amazing game there. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I guess my prediction got blown out of the water. Greyhounds really came into that game in top form, and it showed. They were on point from basically the second round of the game, where Dexter just went absolutely berserk. And I guess they seemed a lot sharper and a lot more on point than the Tainted Mind team this game, and it really showed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you mentioned it at the start of the broadcast as well. You know, Tainted Minds have been playing, you know, quite a few games this week. You know, they've been playing on Asian time zone as well. So I mean, I'm not making excuses for them in any way, shape, or form, but they obviously have had these things to deal with. Greyhounds have obviously had games as well to play, but it's really interesting to see. You know, we thought this was going to be tighter than that, as tight as it still was, but the big thing is Dexter, you know, I think he was really the X factor for them.
Yeah.
That, you know, early into the game when, you know, the Tainted Minds defense, you know, was looking good, you know, things were looking great, and then Dexter rolling through with that deagle, that just opened things up, got the train rolling, got the boys from Greyhounds rolling with that momentum, and after the back of this was just what worked for them, you know, like this just opened everything up, and it was just all forward from there. You know, Chris did mention the AWPing from Gratisfaction obviously was, you know, it's good. It's pretty good. But all in all, Dexter had to be standout from me there. What do you think let down the side of Tainted Minds?
I guess they won the pistol round, which really should have given them 3 rounds and a good start on that counter-terrorist side. However, they lost that first anti-eco, and it really set them on the back foot in terms of money. They didn't able to get the AWPs out, the sniper rifles out as much. Have you seen recently Tainted Minds, they've been trying to run the 2 AWP setup quite a lot with Yam and Ints both on those AWPs, and you've seen them with the AWPs, but they weren't really getting those crucial frags. Greyhounds sort of were like aware of what they were doing. They knew they were pushing smokes, they knew they were holding the choke points with the sniper rifle, and it seemed like Greyhounds were getting the picks with the rifles as opposed to Tainted Minds getting the picks with the AWPs, and I felt like that really held them back.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a good point to make as well, because you saw obviously Yam was playing from short with the AWP quite a lot, you know, had Ins right by his side, and Greyhounds definitely, I guess, just had it figured out. So do you think they should have made a few more adjustments on the fly?
I feel like the adjustments they made would potentially what actually cost them the game. If you watch a generic AWPer on counter terrorists on the CT side, they generally just sit window and float around the connector area. I've seen Ints and Yam wanting to push short quite a lot, which I don't think it worked out into their plan. They weren't really catching anyone off guard. Greyhounds were sort of just waiting for the push, so I felt like they should have just maybe played a little bit more passive and just waited for Greyhounds to walk into their lines opposed to trying to find that pick.
And I guess one of the other things as well is the executes, you know, from the side of Greyhound were absolutely, I just guess, clinical, you know, in most situations. You know, they do a great job at sort of setting themselves up. And when it comes to the execution, you know, they've always got someone, you know, that's always lurking behind. They've always got the smokes and everything perfectly set out, you know, for those last few spots. How do you feel the execution was for the side of Greyhound from your opinion?
It was awesome. I actually mentioned it before the game. I 100% feel like Greyhounds have the best teamwork in Oceania, hands down. Their teamwork, every time you watch them play, they barely make any mistakes. They're very methodical in their team play. They're very good at trading, as I mentioned before. I feel like that is definitely the biggest asset that they have as a team, but also when they show up to games like this with their teamwork, they also have players like Gratisfaction and Dexter shooting heads as well. It makes them a very formidable target.
Well, If you've just joined us, it's more than likely that Greyhounds have solidified their spot as the #1 seed in the tournament. It's still, we've got another week, anything still can happen
possible,
at this
but-
point, who knows. But Greyhound have just beaten Tainted Minds in very dominant fashion there as well. But next up, let's talk about our next game. We're going to have Order taking on Corvidae. Well, in this case, Disorder. So for anyone who's just tuning in for this matchup, the main Order lineup did have overseas commitments. So we did get their academy team to come and have a go in the tournament since they were invited. So the thing with them is that I feel they've been getting better every single week. They got themselves, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, 8 rounds on train against Tainted Minds. Now they've got Corvidae to deal with. And how do you feel it's going to happen?
I feel like it could go two ways. Order sort of have nothing to lose. They're going to go into this game just sort of playing their own game, doing their own thing. But I feel like they really need to come out into this game like on the top foot. They need to start off well. If Corvidae goes into this game 5-0 up, 6-0 up, I really can't see any way for Disorder to get back into us. They need to come into the game on the front foot, put Corvidae under pressure. Don't allow Iron to pick up their orb and start making plays with the sniper rifle. They need to keep their money low and keep their own money at a high so they can keep with the sniper rifles and the rifles.
And, we talk about Iron a lot here, on the broadcast. But, Cruden's been really standing out for me in these, last few games. Cruden's been absolutely phenomenal, solid fragger throughout all of these matches. If there is someone they need to watch out for, it is going to have to be Iron, though, I would say, just as you mentioned as well, because Iron just seems to have that ability to turn it on and turn it off. Do you agree?
Yeah, most definitely. Iron's play style is very, very, sneaky. He likes to make plays. He likes to just cause a lot of disruption to the opposition team. And if he's on his point, on his A game, then, yeah, you're definitely in for a treat watching that guy play.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's see how Haz and the boys from Disorder get on against Corvidae. Big game here. Let's throw it back over to our casters. Nutters and Wayfarer, take it away.
Cheers, Dallas. And obviously we've got Corvidae, we've got Disorder. I think everyone talks up Iron. You can't not talk him up. He's been absolutely on point. I do like the fact that you guys actually mentioned Cruden. I've sort of seen him through a couple of iterations of different teams. Most recently, personally, with Avant Gaming. That is at least one of the teams where I never saw him shine. I'm just glad that he's actually able to come out in this Corvidae roster and really, I suppose, turn on the light.
Yeah. Good teams make good players. They bring out the brilliance, and it helps because when you've got that teamwork and that structure, your star players, they have more opportunities because you're winning. And yeah, you have more opportunities because you're winning. So it's easier to be a star player. You get more highlights, you get more opportunities. And we saw in the last match those team flashes, those smokes, the mollies. It's the difference maker. And
Yeah.
Irons,
I suppose
he is a star player for Corvidae right now, and I think the team's pretty happy about that.
I suppose another couple of players that you want to look at is obviously Dans and Herbs, but we'll get back to them in a moment as we have a quick look over at the map pick. And interesting to see, the first time we are actually going to see Cobblestone played in the Alpha Invitational,
Yeah.
picked by Corvidae, of all teams, and we are going to see Order start on that CT side, but you do have to feel like Cobblestone is at least a relatively, I suppose, specialist map. You have to wonder, if a team is picking it, they obviously have at least something that they know on it.
Yeah, a lot of players, they know how hard it is to hold drop, and that's going to be one of the keys because it controls the split between both sites. The drop is going to be influential on this match. Getting A site, getting B. We see a lot of teams play pistol rounds going through there as well because it puts so much pressure, and it's an initiator.
You get dropped on
between
by a
CTs
Glock,
and
and
Ts, yeah.
it could be all over for the CTs. You get dropped on by a Glock, and all of a sudden, your entire round's over. A lot of people actually choose to hold it from outside connector, sort of now. But I'd just like to point out that we don't see, or have not seen, very many shotguns at all
Oh, yes.
in the entire tournament. And I'd just like to say,
yeah.
if we can see some shotguns come out in drop,
that's a viable tactic on this map with drop and B plat. We've seen MBK star. He's one of the international stars. What you're capable of doing, it's amazing. We shouldn't write off Disorder completely though, because I think this is a map where you have a star player on B plat or A long. You can control the game at CT.
Yes, indeed you can. And Corvidae starting out on this T side, getting straight down into drop, trying to push out, looking for at least one of these players. It will be Raz picking up the first. Has drops Cruden already not looking too good for Corvidae. Trying to push their way out. They will be onto the site, but Haz has dropped Ares. That was the bomb. Dans picks up one, but now he's left. Oh my god, the second tap annihilates Haz. And now Dan's just looking for anything he can grasp. He's only got 9 points of health. Prodigy just peeking around. Gets a bit lucky there with that final shot. And drops Dan's in the end. Disorder picking up the first round.
Well, we saw the T-side players play drop really quickly, but they faced nothing. The CTs were playing deep lines, using the USP to initiate with those headshots. They were just crisp locks. But I Disorder could upset tonight, and they probably want to. Corvidae probably thinking, yeah, we're in a good place, we're going into third, but we could see an upset. We could definitely see an upset. These guys on Disorder are star players individually. We just need to see them perform together.
I suppose the key here is that if Disorder actually managed to upset Corvidae, it opens up Darksided for that push into that third spot. It keeps it all very close, very tight, as these players looking to play up that A-long area. Moe will just be holding close to the corner, just jump peeking, trying to spot out Herbs. Looking for that pixel gap, and it's not a pixel gap you actually see often, I suppose, abused by CTs. He looks like he just wants to try and get at least a little bit of damage off to one of these players, but Cruden, he's already down drop. He's looking, as we've already said, that drop control. Order are happy to give it up and just hold the angles either side, as Moe is going to get annihilated by Herbs. He's pushed onto the A site. It's wide open now. Luke is able to drop Cruden. But Iron, he's already through the death hole. Doesn't even break the vents to kill him. But picks him up in the end. Has now looking to rotate through. Iron's already pushing close to the doors. And, well, whilst he still only has that CZ, he's going to be happy to look for whatever he can get. And Haz will be one of them. He drops Res as well.
No
my goodness, Iron. We might hype you up a lot. But boy, so far he's already deserving of it. Prodigy now left 1 versus 4. He'll be able to drop Dan's, but Herbs with that picked up M4 will get him back. Already, twice now, we've seen the anti-eco come on through.
Wow. That's CZ. CZ is just overpowered, and I am behind it. What a massive game changer.
4 letters. CZOP.
Oh, yes. And maybe we're the lucky charm here. Maybe, everybody we talk up comes out and blows everybody away. Iron, phenomenal. Second round of the game and he's making plays like that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Iron, he's going to put down that HE. He's not going to find anything just yet. Popping a few shots off through the smoke. 3 players stacked on B. 2 players out towards A. One actually getting relatively close. Up long, trying to get that peek out onto Dan's, who does only have a UMP. But probably still has an advantage over Luke with just the CZ. Rez holding that B long on plat, trying to pick up whatever he can. Will be able to drop Iron. Star player down, as it gives him that single man advantage. Luke can at least highlight the point that there's a single player trying to push him. But Cruden still holding top drop. Just gonna let Prodigy back away. Not gonna play too aggressive, and it does look as if it will be a B site hit. Still though, we have Dan's on that flank. Looking for whatever he can get. Luke gonna peek into him. Luke won't be able to pick it up. Dan's will drop him. And now it does force that rotation of at least one more player towards the A site. Brings it down to possibly a 3 versus 2, but no. Corvidae will decide to make their move and cobble one of those maps where a rotation can take quite a while. Luckily, Corvidae still have 30 seconds left. They will have Dan's putting a smoke out over the top. Moe and Raz now going to be looking to hold this.
It's going to be a very interesting setup for the A site with these defensive trade lines.
Yeah, Haz is there as well, and Ares will peek out. Gets annihilated. Herbs is able to get the trade back. Instantly pushing up though. Haz. Oh, what a flick from Herbs. Annihilates him. Moe still hanging in there. Herbs picks up a third, but the bomb has to be planted. They've got to get it down. It will. Just in time. But Dens and Herbs, both players take to 34. It doesn't matter. Herbs with the 4K. Dens to get that crucial final frag in there as well. But Corvidae.
Did you see that flick on the guy on truck? Oh my gosh.
Has got ripped off there. He was just like, you know what, I've got this guy, I'm peeking out now. And all of a sudden Herbs just like, nope.
Give me his res, his sensitivity. I want his mouse pad, keyboard. Give it all to me. I need what that guy's got. RBZ, please tell me your secret.
His res or his RBZ?
RBZ, his res. I want his res.
Push coming up. Cruden will be able to find Moe, trying to go for the cheeky little Zeus kill. He's able to drop down, pick up another. Raz gets one in return, looking for some more, but Herbs cleaning up. Cruden can finish off with the Glock. Pretty simple, only losing Dens. Corvidae 3-1. Order should be pulling out some rifles, should be giving us at least a little bit of a surprise now.
Well, the CTs will finally have some utility. This should definitely slow the terrorist side players down quite a lot. They don't have an AWP, which is not really going to help. Having an AWP on Cobble is quite important. You can station it on A long, mid, B plat, and it just means that you can rotate players off of those sites and just run the AWP as an anchor.
The only thing I have to wonder is, you say that utility is going to slow down the T players. Cruden only has a Mach 10. There's no reason for it to actually slow him down, and he might just be that first player out no matter what comes at him. A few shots off and it could be all in his favor, but 4 players stacked on this B site. Corvidae may not be expecting to have dropped 2. Straight down, drop, pushing on towards that platform. Has will pick up 1, looks for the second. Prodigy's able to drop Iron. Raz takes out Cruden, a single kill back from Dans, but it's not going to be much. He's still holding close by that rock smoke. It'll be Moe pushing through. Ares now has to find 3 more kills, looking for that quad. He has the bomb on his back, but has to be very careful of players on a flank, or even just one of them peeking straight up on that platform. They're already expecting a rotate. And Luke will head over towards the A site just to hold on. The man with full health, I suppose, very crucial in sending him around. At least means he can take that single extra bullet if it isn't straight at his head.
So he knows how important it is that he gets the bomb down. It can build their economy as they get the reward bonus. All he's got to do is open up the A site with a headshot, and that could be a fast plant. He won't be too worried about trying to win the round, but he wants that economy. He wants it for his teammates.
Yeah, he's going to peek up. Spots him, but can't do much, and Luke will be able to pick it up. Picks up the second round for Order, gets his hands on the AK as well. So both Prodigy and Prodigy and Haz will now be using those. Luke, nope. Okay, no, it's just a game of pass the parcel. All of a sudden, he does end up with an AK that he so rightly earned. And Corvidae, that money is a little bit tattered, but luckily enough for them, they do pull out the 5 AKs. They've still got that full utility, but losing this round will relatively destroy their economy. And for the first time, we're actually seeing a little bit of aggression into mid, down towards that water area, as Luke just going to be looking to get at least a little bit of damage off onto one of these players if he can. Smoke over onto A-Long. Herbs flashing straight out over towards those hay bales, forcing those players out. Interesting Molotov. Haven't actually seen that one before, as Moe will be able to possibly hold straight up danger. Leg spotted out though, and Herbs is able to capitalize. He's able to drop straight on down, and Iron will fall at the hands of Haz over towards that B site. This split from Corvidae has not yet, I suppose, begun to work. They've still got that single player over in the halls. 3 players instantly out mid, looking for that A ramp in water, but
Corvidae still not convinced to go A site. We saw them execute with 18 seconds last time they tried this. Be interesting if they can buy themselves more time this round.
Cruden, the man with the bomb. The man talked up relatively a lot in pre-game, avoiding the fact that we also always talk up Iron for some reason. And he's going to be, I suppose, relatively crucial, pushing up straight up the A ramp. Luke's going to take a little bit of damage there. He's going to hold on. He's absolutely full white. Ares will be the man to push through. Knows where Rez will be. Drops him as well. Instantly giving these T's the advantage. Prodigy looking for something. Killed through the murder hole. Ares looking for a quad here. He's got the AK. He's got a kit. He's got no utility. He's just going to be looking for some exits here, you'd suppose. And Dans is going to be going on the hunt. Haz is going to peek around. Will actually be able to drop Dans, but now he's just going to have to back away. He's going to look towards long. If he can get a pick here, he's not going to be in with a chance, but it does at least damage Corvidae's economy just that little bit more. And the one thing I'm rather interested to see is that we're yet to see an AWP pulled out, as you've said.
Yeah, economy is going both ways at the moment. No team has a stranglehold over it. It's interesting to see. We'll probably see more development in the economy going forward the next 3-4 rounds. Maybe Corvidae will get some momentum and build on that. Order might be forced to have a Force Fire and a full Echo. It'd be interesting to see what these teams decide to do. But they're under a lot of pressure, and there's going to be some anxious players wanting to make changes for their team, developments. But what I was really disappointed about just then was that the CT players were playing a defensive default on the A side. That should be one of your strongest defenses, and they didn't even get a trade. I think it just goes to show the link is broken between two players. They need to build on that. They need to get some energy. They need to turn it up now.
I suppose at the same time, when you've got Ares pushing out, you've got that single player fully flashed, and all of a sudden he just gets annihilated. Rez tries to peek around one side of the truck, but Ares comes around the other. Whilst that default should be able to hold, it's just a little bit unlucky, you'd have to think. And all of a sudden, Corvadev just managed to take over the site. Iron, though, he's gotten himself into the corner of dreams. He's going to hold on here. He spots out Haz, drops one, drops Raz as well, and my goodness, that was beautiful. Leaves Moe 1v5. He may be able to find either Iron or Herbs. He's just looking everywhere. He has no idea where these players will be coming from. And maybe if he's actually able to drop Iron, he is still the only player on B. We'll be able to drop him so far. But that should now indicate that Corvadev, whilst they can rotate over towards the A side if they should want, Mo's going to get caught on top of the rock, and Ares will drop him. It was a little bit of a lost cause, but as we say, it wasn't eco for Order. Not too much they could really do.
No, but the City players will be looking to build on their economy now and get those orbs on Raz and Moe and see if they can get, or even Luke, to see if we can get a lockdown. And it's needed. That orb is going to be a game changer, and they know it.
I'd be quite interested to see who's going to orb out of Moe and Raz. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I'd quite like to see them both orbing.
Definitely. Both orbing, 100%. They could turn this game around. Those two guys can definitely lock down either side.
Oh,
what?
Cruden, he's full white, and he still drops Haz through the smoke. But on that topic of the AWPing, I still don't know. I personally believe that maybe they should just bring out a single AWP at a time. Just see how that first one works. See who's actually getting frags with it, if at all. Then possibly see about bringing out a double AWP setup. But Prodigy holding in drop. Gets the tags down onto Iron, but Cruden is there to finish him off. Cruden will be looking for Luke as well. Picks him up. He's on to 3 for the round. He'll be looking for 4 and 5 in a second. Player hanging up on tree. I'm not too sure exactly who it is. I believe it is Moe. And Raz playing close to chicken. Iron spots Moe and drops him. And Raz just looking for anything he can get here. Cruden, I'm sure he'd love the quad. But Iron will just back away out of drop. Raz looking to go on the hunt. Just wants at least one of these kills, and Raz is gonna fall. Iron and Cruden, the only two players requiring any kills there is Herbs. No, even with that 3 and 2k, Herbs is still sitting miles ahead on the top of that leaderboard.
He is. He's doing damage, and we haven't seen that in recent weeks, so it's really positive to see that.
I wonder if it's sort of one of those things where Herbs just goes, you know what, guys, I can frag on Cobblestone. Can we play it? And then all of a sudden he gets really lucky and they're just like, you know what, Herbs? We believe in you, son.
Well, definitely.
It's like
a lot of
feel-good story.
Ooh, going for the cheeky pick. And here we do see the double AWP setup.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I hate to say it, but it is going to be back to the drawing board for Order.
Raz will be kicking himself. He didn't make that shot, though. That was a golden opportunity.
Yeah, probably just one of those things where you try and get into it and all of a sudden the crosshair, it's just not where it is. It isn't where it is, you know, one of those sort of things. And Moe, he's going to be holding that aggressive B platform angle. Puts a flash over, he's looking for something. But Ares pushing him with the bomb. For a second I thought it was going to be like a cheeky BM crab walk, and then they just stood up and obviously just hoping that the AWPer did not have a line above that smoke. Herbs will push out, will be able to drop Luke. Haz gets a single trade back, but already Raz looking from danger. May be able to find 1 or 2 of these players on the cross, but instantly Haz, he is hunting, he's looking. But no, Danz will drop him. Raz though, drops Cruden, that's the bomb down. He's just going to back away though, he's not going to play aggressively. And now it will be that second AWP of Moe. Manages to drop Danz down to that 2 versus 3, but all 3 players on the side of Order are tagged. Moe and Prodigy slightly more heavily. Iron will be able to drop 1. Coming through Connector, trying to push those doors. Actually manages to flash Herbs. Playing around the tree, Herbs will be able to drop Moe down to the 1 versus 1. Herbs will get his hands on the bomb. Could go anywhere. No,
Oh.
he's running to the wall. No, my goodness, he has
so
to
many
get to
mistakes.
site. He's got 5
Get your
seconds.
Nikes on, mate.
Oh,
Bro, go,
run,
go.
run.
You need 4 seconds.
Oh, just
Oh.
in time. He's going to get the plant.
All right,
And
all right.
Raz,
Get
no.
him a shoe sponsor. Get him a
Raz.
shoe sponsor. That guy is quick.
Raz has at least realised that it's going to be on the B site. And I was going to say that was going to be absolutely crucial how long he spent over towards A. But he's making a lot of footsteps. Herbs has the advantage but doesn't capitalise. The jump just catches him off. Has to reload that M4. Herbs will be able to back away. Get himself around the wall. And all of a sudden that will be Herbs winning out the 1v1. The RBZ over the RAZ.
I'm feeling for Disorder right now. That was their round to win. The Orbs were in full effect with Moe and Raz. They had great play, and the T players basically won that from A ramp. They don't even get the bomb onto A site. Ah, come on, boys. It was yours.
I do have to say, though, Iron on that flank was absolutely crucial.
Piece of
He
art.
distracted at least one of those players, allowed Herbs to pick up the kill onto Moe. And I suppose, all in all, the double up, it did work. It was the rifles that ended up letting them down, and it does feel bad. But on the other hand, I do have to say, from my understanding, Disorder team, they don't get any sort of practice in, you know, due to the fact that, in all honesty, they don't always know what sort of squad they're going to be able to put out. So you can't put too much on them.
If we look at these players and we ask somebody, you match them up, Moe to Ian, Raz to Erez, Luke to Cruden, you know, a lot of players in the community would probably say, you know, these Disorder guys individually have more skill. But, you know, this is what we're seeing from Corvidae. The teamwork and chemistry is really shining right now. Like, they don't let down to anybody. The old Corvidae, we go back like 3 or 4 months, you know, there's a possibility of being upset by these puggish type of teams. Right now, the Corvidae, they're awesome. They've gone to another level.
Yeah, Iron will be able to pick up a single kill before he's falling at the hands of Prodigy. Ares gets that second trade back. Herbs looking through the chicken coop, but he has the bomb. He locks it. Oh, 360 onto Luke. A little bit cheeky. I don't think he meant to, but he still managed to find the kill. Is on that flank through that B-long area. Gets a single shot off, but Cruden will drop him. And even though Disorder have only picked up 2 rounds, I still feel like I'm seeing them play a lot better than we have in previous weeks. Even picking up 8 rounds against 10 did last week, I still feel like they're playing almost better. Opting for the double AWP again.
They were very close last time. They can still come back to 8-7. That would really help. It is a harder map for the CT sides, especially in Australia and New Zealand. The way teams play it, they're quite aggressive on the T side. So Order know that they can still win this. These guys, they don't doubt themselves. They're full of confidence.
I'd be full of confidence if I had their level of skill as well. I don't see why you wouldn't have the confidence. And as you say, it's just sort of a puggish style. Maybe they have to focus and try and play a little bit more puggish. Maybe it'll come up, come up trumps for them. The only problem being is that Corvidae, they have that execute down. They push out. He still hasn't dropped Iron. Iron doesn't get any shots off. Ares is able to get that single trade back. Moe around the statue. That'll be Herbs picking up 1. Danz gets the second. Already this B site still has Raz. He's just going to back away, but into that smoke. Herbs will fire off a few shots. Bomb has gone down, but Danz and Herbs both heavy tagged. Raz looking for whatever he can get. Gets the shot off onto Herbs. Just backs away, gets burnt up just a small amount. And Dan's looking to play around straight in towards that Molotov. Drops Raz. And now Luke. They know where he is. Dan's and Cruden just have to combine. Flash up over the top. Luke won't get caught. Cruden will drop him. And Corvidae knock it up to 9-2. I feel as if Order, should they have started T-side and played some very puggish strats, whether they might have a slight advantage over Corvidae.
Possibly more aggression, stopping Corvidae from being able to get those executes. Obviously, like, has definitely made a slight mistake not being able to finish that guy faster. He took his time and ran out of bullets to be able to transition onto a second kill. We saw 2 support players with Moe AWPing on statue, and Moe didn't even get an AWP shot off. The level of flashes, smokes used to counter, it's impressive. Moe's got to get into the game when he's got that AWP. He's got to be able to get that first kill.
Yeah, cheeky little reload there from Iron. as he will be able to just ever so slightly push up this B-long area. Prodigy looking to get close with the peak. Will spot Iron, but Iron spots him back and decides to shoot him in the face. Not a bad choice if I say so myself, as Luke playing in that anti-flash position, hoping that Raz will at least play that bait and switch, try and draw him out. He does, and he does manage to get the kill onto Herbs, but Danz is there for the double trade back, has now left 1v4, gets 2 shots off, manages to drop Danz with that, could get his hands on an AK, but Ares knows where he is. Could be has his chance to try and save if he can get that frag on the player on the flank, but has, don't know what he'll be expecting at the moment. Ares just playing around the tree, and Ares will be able to win it out. You do have to feel a little bit bad for Disorder.
They've got the full loss bonus. They're trying to find their way in. They've tried double AWP. They need to just keep trying everything. These guys are really struggling. They've got to be able to figure out how they can get into the game. So as that first kill, it's bringing the T-side players down to 4, and then playing defensive. You don't want to go defensive too early. You want to draw all the T-side nades and smokes really early. Force them to make mistakes so they can't get those clean. It's what we see, Moe. Yeah!
Double!
Bring it back, mate. Get that adrenaline flowing. Urgh.
I was actually just about to say, and I mean absolutely no BM whatsoever, but do you think this sort of could pull out a 5-AWP setup? Could that act... I'm just saying. Play it puggish.
The risk that you have with that is that the rotation's always going to be too slow, and if they do get the bomb site, you're not going to be able to do a retake. It's very difficult. I mean, you know, you could have a CZ in your back pocket. That changes everything.
Indeed it does, and the double AWPs have picked up all 3 kills now for Order, and they've been in this position before. The problem now lies within picking up the next couple of frags, and Herbs is going to get aggressive. He's going to push Raz. He will get some success. He looks, he finds Hez as well. Prodigy, though, gets a single trade back, and that's all that he may need. Ares trying to push out. He's got the bomb. He can actually rotate all the way over to B, but he's going to run into Moe in tunnels. And this could be a little bit awkward, as Prodigy will be able to sit over on that A side. He has nothing to worry about. Moe can drop Ares. Nice and easy. Corvidae keeping it 10-3 up. Oh, and just looking back, Moe, absolutely beautiful. Peeks around the edge of the smoke, picks up the first, expects Cruden.
Beautiful.
Annihilates him, and knowing that Iron was going to be crouching, he just gets the headshot as well. It's near beautiful.
That was nice. That was crisp. That's what we got to see. We got to see Raz and Moe with those AWPs taking it to those choke lines before the before the players can get close enough to be able to get those smokes off, to get the sites. It's shutting them down before they get there. We've seen Corvidae struggle somewhat against other teams in that area.
Yeah, Cruden is going to get aggressive into water early. Oh, Moe misses the shot this time, and Herbs will capitalize. I do have to wonder if Iron has actually just bought that AWP to try and put that challenge out to both Raz and Moe for this round. See if he can be the man to pick up the frag, as Raz, oh my goodness, love to just see who is going to win this one out. And Raz actually looks away towards drop. Iron's pushing up close side. Raz is going to be on point, drops him. 4 versus 3 now. And that bomb should be rotating towards the A site. Corvidae have it wide open. Just too easy for them to hold at the moment.
No, it looks like the CT players are going to go for that early save, and they need to. This stage, 11-4. 4 rounds, if they can get to 4 rounds. We hope so. They hope so. I'm sweating.
I do have to wonder if this was a confidence pick from Corvidae. Knowing that they'd be going up against a relatively puggish side, trying to go for one of those out-of-the-ordinary maps. You can't just, I suppose, if you don't know, you can't just sort of throw smokes willy-nilly. You kind of have to know at least a little bit about what you're doing. Unlike maps such as maybe Mirage and Inferno, you can kind of trust it to follow a straight line. You can trust it to head towards CTT, wherever you want it to go on those maps. Herbs will be able to pick up the kill into Haz, looking around, looking for Prodigy. They'll find Prodigy. Can they find Raz? They're looking for him, but all 3 players, he will be dropped! And nothing saved at all for Disorder. They're going into this one. It's almost guaranteed to be a 12-3 half now. Oh.
Corvidae, they have a complete map pool. It came down to Cache and Cobble.
Yep.
I think it was a very smart choice going into Cobble. The reason being is that a practice map on ESCA, Faceit, whatnot, is Cache. Everybody in Australia plays Cache. It's one of the most played pug maps in Oceania. Probably a map Disorder really wanted.
That round went
Relatively quick. I basically missed it.
I didn't miss it. I just didn't really get much of a chance to say an awful lot there.
Oh.
But
23 on Herbs in the first half. He's the Punisher right now.
The one thing I actually have to say though is that I do admire this Disorder team for coming back every week. I myself, if I was in this sort of position, I probably would have just given up and just been like, you know what, that's my league done. I'm a little bit done with this. Dan's looking to tap away, looking for one, picks up the first, looking for a second, but Haz is in there with the Glock, gets the second, lovely work, drops Ares as well. Haz is an absolute god on pistols, at least in this game. Cruden tagging away, tapping, will be able to drop Haz. Oh, just drops him nice and perfect as the head comes into view. Iron is looking around, they managed to bring this down, and all of a sudden it's all on Raz, 1 versus 2. If he gets up nice and close, no. Iron, he's already on the bomb. He's not going to be able to stop this defuse. Raz looking for whatever he can get, and Iron gets it with the kit, with the smoke. Herbs finishes it off. Raz goes down, and you have to feel so bad for this Order side.
You don't have to feel bad for them. Corvidae is an outstanding team. They are a really formidable team in Oceania right now. We can't talk them down. They're a form team, and they're starting to show class. That's what they need. They need to be able to put away these types of teams. They're doing their job, and it's good to see.
Yeah, got to show respect as well. They're not going out with any sort of BM. They're keeping it with a relatively normal buy, you know, going for MP9's UMP and M4. They know that the bomb plant was there. They want to make sure that their economy's still good enough should Order come out with some sort of anti-eco, which, as we all know, in Australian Counter-Strike, it can happen. And it's almost a weekly guarantee that you'll get at least 1 or 2. Corvidae are going to be just able to hold off. Oh, a nice little dink there from Prodigy.
He knows
Drops
it too.
Iron to 20 points of health. And these players from Order just looking around. Moe forced back by the Molotov. Luckily keeps 99% of his health. Herbs just looking around. Dan's still holding out on that plat. Herbs spots out 1, spots out 2, drops both of them, spots out 3, takes down Prodigy. Moe and Raz now left 2 versus 5. I'd love to see Herbs just get a clean ace here, but Ares will have to take one of these kills. Gets indeed 1. Herbs cleans up, but the MP9s get all 5. Lovely bank builder. Order will be able to buy up some AKs. But Corvidae, they are so close already to that map point.
29! We're going to see a 30 bomb! And he got 4 frags with the MP9. His economy is going to be booming with that bonus money from using the MP9. Woo!
For all we know, he might even be able to afford a house in Auckland with that kind of money.
Yeah! Oh, you're right.
I don't know anybody that can afford one of those.
Yeah! Oh.
Either way, Haz will get that flash out. Quick rush onto this B site. Prodigy will be out clean. Ares looking for the second. Prodigy picks up double. Haz annihilates Danton. The quick push has worked. The puggish style, I said. The 5-man rush. It's already working out for them. And they've got that bomb plant, and that's almost guaranteed them the round as well.
That was great work from Prodigy. He is one of the star players we've been hyping up in recent weeks. We know what he can do. Get him in a team that works together. We're going to see him going places. We could see him in the next Corvidae. You know, the next team that rivals and comes back and beats these guys. They're going to be looking forward to LPL Season 2. 100%. They're going to be ready for that.
As it is, if Herbs is actually able to hold these players in. Alright, he's just going to look at the corner. I was really hoping if he actually held those players in, we see at least probably 2 or 3 of them drop to the bomb. But sadly, they will all have a chance to get away. Herbs, corner watching, doesn't do an awful lot. Must have been expecting maybe a flash. Either way, he still hasn't dropped his 30. Corvidae do lose a round. And Order, Disorder I'd like to see them possibly build on this. I'd like to see them pick up 9-10 rounds here.
With the AK firepower, with what Prodigy just provided with the 2 entry kills on B site, I wouldn't be surprised if they just hit it again. If they get that momentum going, yeah, maybe. Maybe they just found a weakness in Corviday's defense.
Iron with that nade is gonna do very little. I was actually expecting it to do a lot of chunking, but Cruden, picks up 1 Irons drop Prodigy. Both players traded back. Luke will take out Ares. Dans and Herbs with their CZs should come on the hunt, and that'll be Dans picking up 1. Picks up another, leaving Moe 1v2 now. My goodness, they have to get this rotation through nice and quick. Herbs, though, he's going to take his time. He's going to play it slowly. Moe's going to drop him. Gives away at least his position. Expecting the player. Herbs can now get up nice and close. He could look for a weapon if he wanted, but there is no kit. He needs this kill on Moe. He needs to absolutely annihilate him. Gets his hands onto the AK. Herbs, this could be his 30 bomb. It could be Moe picking it up. Will be Moe picking up the kill. Picking up the round for Disorder. My goodness.
There's no other player that you want in this squad in a 1v1. That's Moe. He is incredibly talented, incredibly experienced. We've actually seen him in the past playing for Greyhounds. That's how good of a player he is. He's competed on the international stage. He's been a national representative. He is a star player. If you're in a 1v1 or a 2v1, he's the man to pull you through.
Yes, indeed. Iron has already pulled out that orb, looking for the shots. Doesn't hit anything. Prodigy's been taken up by a nade. And Iron just watching straight down into water now. All these players yet again making a lot of noise towards this B site. The CTs, however, have rifles up this time, and Prodigy tapping away will be able to drop Dans. Iron still going to be holding out towards that A-long area. Moe pushing around. Herbs will fall at his hands, but he will pick up not another. Cruden has dropped him. Luke takes out Ares and playing around. Cruden gets another. Held back, though, next to the rock. Luke will drop him. Iron now left 1 versus 2 with the AWP. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him do something amazing, but already that bomb, it's on site. Less than 50 seconds played, and that bomb is planted. Ordered, they are playing it fast, they are playing it puggish, and it's working out for them. Iron will be able to drop Luke. He's expecting this player. Go for it. Looking for the bang onto Raz. Raz is still going to be holding in Chicken Coop, and Iron just looking around the statue. Probably won't be expecting exactly where Raz is. He is still playing around the coop. My goodness. Iron. No, he's turned his back. He peeks in. Raz will pick up the kill. Order will pick up their 6th round. And Corviday now, they're just not able to adapt to this fast play.
Yeah, Disorder have really found a hole in their defense. And they're not giving up on it. They just keep pushing it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. If Corviday can't find a fix soon, and Disorder keep punishing them, so be it. They just go on with it. It could be a mistake if Disorder go towards A or try something different. Sticking towards B probably is the best thing that they can do right now.
And he called it. 5-man stack on B for Corviday. 4 HEs. Raz has that up. Oh, just stacking all up onto tree.
This is nice.
This is a strategy and a half. These nades heading over, but there's nobody there to receive bar Raz. And he's expecting a player to peek into him as well. That should have at least given away that Corviday have stacked this B site. And now Order just have to work around that and decide where to play. Dancy does have that P250. Gets 2 taps, manages to drop Moe. Lovely work from him. Pushing around, Cruden will fall. Prodigy picks up a double. Lovely spray transfer. And now the push through the smoke. Iron just tapping away gently with that P250. Ares is going to peek out here. Spots out Prodigy, drops him as well. Gets his hands on the AK. The bomb will go down. But Ares, he has that AK. He's up close. He will fall at the hands of Haz. Haz and Raz now. The Az brothers trying to get into this. Leaving Herbs on the flank. He's going to fall. Raz will pick it up. Or to get to 7.
I like it. I like it. I like what these boys are bringing. That was huge from Haz, and it was much needed. You know, being a 2v3 after the entries against pistols, I was shaking a little bit. I was a little bit worried about where that was going. But Haz stepped up. He got 2 nice multi-kills. Prodigy got 2 entry kills on their side. It was nice. It was really good.
Can you smell what the Raz is cooking?
No, I can't smell what he's cooking.
Exactly, because we're actually in a studio and he's probably sitting at his house. That's a good reason that you can't smell an awful lot. Corviday, however, they are trying to smell a bit of victory. Order will be looking to hunt for a few more rounds. Haven't actually seen that the hay bale spot played very often, or at all, so far on this map. It's quite often a relatively common CT holding spot.
Well, with the fast play from Disorder on B site, they're probably transitioning to an A ramp fast rotation so that they can get all guys defending the B side early. They're worried about it, obviously. They've lost 3-4 rounds. Could go similar. Oh.
Yeah, Dans will be able to pick up a double. Nice work hit there. Aries almost playing the bait position. Baited, switched out, and dropped. As Corvidae will be looking now to just play a slightly more passive defensive position over towards that A site. 2 players still over there looking to hold off this 3-man push, as Raz will be able to just push down into water. Iron holding this close angle on the A ramp. Has, if he does decide to go in, probably doesn't want to pop out dry. Will need a flash or a smoke, something. That'll be the flash, but he flashes himself. He's going to fall in the hands of Iron. Raz can get the trade back, but through the smoke he gets tagged up himself. Luke trying to push out long, will fall at the hands of Cruden. And now Raz 1 versus 3 picks up a single, looking essentially for a quad kill to keep him in this, but he only has 10 seconds to play with. Cruden will be hearing the scope, will be spotting around, drops Raz and Corvidae up onto map and match point here.
The break in pace, I think that's what did it for Disorder. They stopped hammering that B plat. They gave them stairs. They got the 2 kills for the CT players. We haven't seen Herbs drop the 30 bomb yet. Where is he? Come on, man. We haven't seen him from those. Is he going to wrap the game up?
He was 29 and 5. He's now 29 and 10. Those 5 rounds being, I suppose, 5 of the previous. And he's been sitting there for a lot of this. It's going to be those 5 men straight towards B again. Aries puts out the Molotov. Does just hold them back ever so slightly. Aries will just put the smoke down. Puts that flash up. And as they push through, picks up 1. Herbs, will he drop the 30 bomb? This is his chance now. Looking for absolutely anything. That'll be Aries getting another. Herbs, he hits his 30 bomb. That's all he cares about now. Raz will drop Dans. Aries is going to fall. But Raz, he's going on one here. He's looking for a few more kills if he can get it. Just trying to play around the statue. Puts a flash up. Cruden getting up close. Playing around his right side. Moe's managed to drop Herbs. That'll be Cruden dropping Raz. Moe's going to fall. And Corvidae will take it out 16-7. And what a performance we actually saw. And I'd like to say from Corvidae, but I think it was Disorder. They came out in that second half. They went off on 1. They picked up a total of 7 rounds, 5 more than in that first half.
Yeah, it was impressive to see them with that B play, being able to push through the nades. Just that aggression caught Corvidae off. They didn't know how to defend it. It was actually slowing down that worked against them. I wish they just carried on with it. And that last play just then was a little bit stagnant. The molly really shut them down. They couldn't push through it. It sort of broke the pace and allowed the CTs to just really
you just
trade
wanted
them
to
out.
see them go faster, faster, faster.
Yeah.
A bit like a Formula 1 car. You just want to see them just get out there, keep it going. I do agree with you. I feel like that could have been the difference almost between that being another round for them. Obviously, it was Nico. Maybe if they'd played fast even towards the A site in the previous round, maybe that's a point for them to actually pick up on. But it almost guarantees Corvidae now as our 3rd seed before we head into next week, which is where it's all decided. Slightly reliant also on Darksider versus LoL 1-2-3.
Yes.
If LoL 1-2-3 play out some sort of upset in this next match, that could actually guarantee Corvidae going into that 3rd position.
It could. Corvidae coming to New Zealand, like they're going to be really looking forward to that. So going into week 5, I'm going to be looking forward to that game. I'm going to be seeing where they're at, see if they've really got it all together.
Yeah. Well, seeing if he's got it all together, I'm going to have to throw this over to my man Dallas. Have you got it all together, mate?
Somewhat, Nutters. Thank you very much for that and that insightful game. But I mean, if you're just joining us there, we've seen Corvidae take down the power, I would say, of Disorder, 16-7. And I mean, we've seen it time and time before. You know, Corvidae obviously a very solid team. But, Disorder, always towards the end of the match, once they start getting their footing in, they just seem to be able to perform, chain some rounds together. What sort of stopped them at the start of the game?
I feel like in this game it was the fact that Corvidae just applied pressure from the start. They played a really slow, solid terrorist side, which didn't really allow for Disorder to like use their aim and try and get any picks. And before they knew it, they had no money and they were just behind too many rounds. In the second half, they were allowed more freedom and more ability to use their aim and their natural skill, which I feel like in the game last week as well, the second half they were able to do that as well. So maybe if the first half they just in the first half they could get the other side and maybe start off with some more rounds, then we could expect more. But yeah, I guess it's just a bit unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, we still had a few good standout moments though in that game. Like, it takes me back. A couple of them are great. You know, Iron sort of turned things around with the CZ. I feel like this gun needs a nerf by this point.
Most definitely.
You know, it looked like the matches were like right in, you know, they're right even in a sense. You know, Order, nice start for them there. And then obviously the force by too strong here. Iron chained already 1 kill before this, you know, picks up a third there as well. CZ, eh? CZ. How do we feel about the CZ in its current state?
I mean, I can't complain about it too much, but because I used to personally like it a lot, but I guess it's easy to get kills with. Basically, you run into someone's, like, they run into your crosshair, you just basically tap, and there it goes. So, I don't know, maybe it does need some nerfing, or maybe slow it down a little bit, or a little less damage or something like that. But for a while now, the pistols have been a big factor in CSGO. Before that, it was like the P250, and the Tech 9 was really good at one stage as well. So, they've sort of wanted to bring the pistols into this game.
I missed the old one where you didn't have to, you know, cock it before you got it ready, the old CZ, the mini AK.
Yeah, that one was lethal. That one was...
Give me some more of that back.
No.
Anyway, the biggest thing for me was seeing Herbs show up tonight. You know, he's been pretty quiet in the last few weeks. And, you know, for us to see Herbs, you know, come out of nowhere, drop a 30 bomb on Cobblestone, I mean, it was great to see. And, I mean, you've had the pleasure of playing with the guy. So, I mean, tell us a bit about him and, you know, how this sort of happened.
When I first started playing with Herbs, in all honesty, he's probably the best player that I'd ever played with. And I think it was late 2015 or 2016, I made a team with RBZ. And at the time, in my opinion, he was probably like a top 5 player in the country. He was a very, very good player. Over the last year or so, I guess he's had a dip in form, and I guess his team hasn't really backed him up as much. But RBZ is a player with a lot of skill.
So, yeah, I mean, it's great to see because, you know, we talked about Iron. We talk about Iron a lot here. You know, Cruden being very big on the frags in the last few weeks. But, you know, it's good to see now, obviously, Herbs, you know, taking that mantle from them, saying, hey, don't worry, guys. I'll push you along for a win here. But Order, again, you know, they were very, very good. There was a couple of moments that stood out for me there as well. You know, Moe with the AWP was, you know, his great stuff there. There was that 1v1 round as well, which I thought was, you know, it was so close with Raz. You know, he was almost there. But Herbs, again, I mean, when you come up against Herbs, he was feeling himself on Cobblestone. What are you going to do?
Yeah, Herbs is known for his clutching ability as well. He's very good in the one-on-one situations. He has a very smart and, I guess, sneaky mindset to the game, which allows him to outplay his opponents quite easily, and it worked out in this favour for him very well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit bold there to take the peak, but, I mean, Raz had already played this round up until this point, I think, very, very well. You know, he caught a lot of people coming up the push, you know, from long with the AWP there. But Herbs just too consistent, you know, pushing it through there. But let's have a quick chat about, you know, Order. We've seen, obviously, the roster change over the last few weeks. So for those of you who are just joining us, Order, their main team had overseas obligations. So they are playing with their academy team, you know, under the name of Disorder. We still have them labeled as Order. So don't let that fool you. But yeah, over the last few weeks they've been, you know, improving, and obviously, you know, they've been stable there with Raz stepping in for them, and I think that's a very good addition. How do you feel about that?
It's sort of hard to judge this team at the moment. I feel like they always seem to have different players playing for them each week, and they don't have their own like game style set yet, so it's sort of just like going with the flow and doing whatever. So sometimes they'll seem like they're good players and a good team, and then other times it will be harder for them to do stuff just purely because they have very minimal tactics. They probably don't have a leader set in stone. It's just a lot harder for them. So it is quite hard for them coming into a tournament like this, in all honesty. So you do have to like take your hats off to them and show them a bit of respect in that aspect.
Oh, yeah, no, most definitely. And I mean, there's always those standout moments from all the players. You know, Has had a few of them there on that matchup there. Moe with the AWP, I think, was, you know, he's a force to be reckoned with on a lot of situations. I think he was very strong. It's too bad, you know, they couldn't pull too much, you know, off the back of some of these opening picks. You know, this is a nice 2K we see from Moe picking up from B Plat here, which I thought was great stuff.
Well, you see when they actually get into positions where they can like have an aim duel or an even battle, they seem to do well. But if you watch the game like pan out, most of the times they're not in even situations. You know, they're getting flashed, they're getting smoked back. They've got two people pushing them or shooting them at the same time. So it's hard for them to really use their natural skill, you know. Once they actually get like in a 50-50 aim battle or they have the advantage on something, you really can see their potential as individuals and as a team.
Well, there we have it. Corvidae almost certainly solidifying their spot for LAN coming into the finals in the next few weeks. We're going to have to see how this next matchup goes. So we're going to have Darksided taking on LOL 123. Now, this is a big one. If Darksided obviously want to upset Corvidae, they need to win tonight and they need to win next week. And Corvidae obviously need to drop a game. For LOL 123, on the other hand, if they obviously they want to get themselves a win. You know, they don't want to go through this tournament under, with 0 wins. At the moment, LOL 123 still sitting down the bottom, sitting on 0 wins. So it's a big one for both of these teams. You know, for not only for the tournament, but obviously for when your pride's on the line as well. So I mean, what a LOL 123? Because I personally think they're a far stronger team than what this tournament shows. They've had quite a hard run in the first few weeks, coming up against some of the stronger teams, I would say.
Yeah, most definitely. They came up against the 2 top teams in the first 2 weeks. So I guess that would have definitely like put a strain on their 2 first results, which would have made it harder for that 3rd game, which they basically had to win. However, I feel like they can hold their heads high. They really did show themselves in the first 2 weeks that they are capable of competing with these teams, and they are a reasonably new team. So if they can stick it together for another couple months, grind out some results, then you never know what will happen with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a big fan of them, and I'm hoping they can pull something together tonight. But obviously, Darksided coming off, last week against Greyhound Gaming, bit of a tough loss for them. I think it was 16-1. It wasn't the easiest game for them in the world. How do you think they're going to be feeling coming off the back of that?
I've actually watched a few of their results, apart from like that aren't in this tournament, and they've seemed to do quite well, bar when they're playing Greyhounds. So maybe Greyhounds is just not good news for them or something like that. But I feel like they're a team that actually has a lot of potential. They have a lot of good individual players, plus they have a good leader and a good mentality to the game. So I feel like they will still be confident they can get a win tonight and hope that Corvidae can lose next week and then they pull another win. So they would definitely be coming into this game 100% wanting to win.
And I mean, we've talked about in the last few weeks, Lonsdale being that team leader for, LOL 123, not always taking, a big fragging position. But, last week he turned up immensely. I believe it was on Inferno. He was going for gold there. Who do you think is going to be, the big one from each of these 2 teams tonight?
In the first week, when LOL 123, I think they got 13 rounds on Greyhounds, and they really did bring it to them. That was probably the best performance they had so far this season. And their standout player was Stat that game. He had a really good game. So, I would just like to see if Stat can really bring his A game like he did on the first week, and maybe they will have a shot.
Yes, that's been absolutely great for me. And I mean, what about, because we haven't really, last week James came in with 0 kills, finished up with 0 kills. A big one for him tonight, I think, for confidence, obviously, moving forward, is picking up some kills. Do you think, obviously, that's something he's thinking about?
In all honesty, not really. Like, I know he'll probably cop a bit of heat for it and a bit of banter, but it happens in games. I've done it before, and I've gone games without getting a kill. So, I mean, I'm a different kettle of fish, but it's alright. But yeah, in all honesty, James, I think anyone that knows him knows his ego is rather high, and he's a confident person, confident fellow. So I feel like he'll come into this game not really caring about last week and just wanting to improve on last week's result and get a win, basically.
Well, that's good because, he's one of my favourite players. I'm expecting him to go large tonight, and I hated seeing him finish up with 0 last week, which was just absolutely sad. So
oh, yes. Most definitely.
Should we do a couple of predictions before we get into it? What do you think?
I feel like Darksided are going to win this just purely because they have more hunger for the game. They know if they win, they have a shot at winning it, whereas LOL 123 are pretty much goodbye in this tournament. So I'm going to go with Darksided to 16-11.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm going to have to agree with you there as well. I think Darksided do have a little bit more on the line for them. They have a little bit more hunger for our tournament, I'd say as well. They're going to need to, get amongst it. So I'm going to say Darksided are going to pick this one up maybe 16-12 seems to be my special little guess tonight, so we'll go back with 16-12. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get right back into the action. Let's throw it over to our casters, Nutters and Chris. Take it away, lads.
Out the hunger for the game, James's donuts. You just put it all together. Me and Chris, we're standing here. We're getting pretty hungry at the moment. I think. Let's just say that we're getting relatively hungry for the game.
Yeah,
hoping at least for that. And I'd like to think that this game is going to pull out at least an amazing result. The problem is, for it to stay with the trend of the night, who are you picking to win 16-7?
I'm going with LoL 123.
Oh,
I'm going with LoL 123. We have to go back and remember that LoL 123 was the first team to qualify for this tournament, and Darksided just scraped through. James 0 for 16 last week. I mean, that showcases that there's problems in this team. That's a great talking point for us. He's got to be gutted. He's got to come back, coming up big this week. But LoL 123, I like them. I like their structure. I like the way they play. They're very default. I think it's gonna break down it's gonna break down Darksided.
the only problem now is you look at this pick and ban, look at the veto. You've given Darksided a choice of starting CT on Inferno with a team that has had actually quite a lot of success on Inferno themselves. LoL 123, I'd say they've been at least relatively strong. But against the likes of this Darksided team, with James, he's going to have a fire in his stomach. Maybe a few less donuts this week in his stomach. And hopefully, maybe he'll be coming into this one looking for an absolutely dominating performance. Maybe he could be what brings Darksided out of a possible slump. And I'm going to have to say I'll take Darksided for the 16-7, only because it at least keeps a very small chance of them making it to the LAN. If LoL 123 obviously beat them, then it's basically all over. We've got our top three.
Well, what I liked about LoL 123 last week is that they, even in the face of defeat, they still came back against Corvidae. They made it really difficult for LoL 123, for Corvidae to be able to close the map. It came down to a few mistakes.
Yeah, a few mistakes is all it was taking. And as it is, Darksided and LoL 123 getting underway here. Nausea has an HE, and I'll just shoot a smoke on the side of that. He's going to be peeking around. 3 players sitting towards the top of Banana. Cobbs will drop Void and Andy. My goodness. This is going to be interesting. He takes the third onto SK. Peeking around, James still sitting up on the balcony. Cobbs on top, that's a 4! He'll be looking for the 5th, waiting for Nausea to rotate through. But my goodness, this is absolutely... what a way to start. 4 kills already.
Yeah, I really wish I got to see those kills.
My goodness. Oh. I don't even know. Nausea, he's just going to hold on here, but Cobbs, he'll be looking to absolutely turn on. He wants to pick up Nausea, and indeed he's going on the hunt. He's looking. Nausea's just going to be playing around. He is right in there. Right looking, gonna peek around. Nausea, no. Cobbs,
he's gonna get it!
Cobbs just gets the pistol round ace! Oh, what a way to start! What a way to start, as instantly we get the pause up, and this must be at least has to be technical. You can't say there's anything sort of tactical about that. Maybe it's a technical because Cobbs has absolutely annihilated his computer. He's just so happy he's slammed his desk and all of a sudden everything's just gone. He's got to put his screen back on. He's got to plug everything back in. And
wow, what the heck? Open up a pistol round with an ace. Just that's what you want to see. I mean, how are you going to come back from that? Darksided right now. Oh, shaking in their boots.
I don't even know where you go with that.
What an individual performance. They were... Cobbs, my man! That's the second ace of the tournament. Sorry, I get a little bit flabbergasted with these aces. It's just...
Nausea got a kill.
Yeah,
that's at least a positive. He got 1. He didn't have any armor. That's something to look at.
Yeah, and James is still on 0.
Oh, we can't. It's 1 round. Come on, you can't just keep harassing him about that. It's 1 round.
We'll forget about it.
Wait until he gets to a rifle round, then mention it again.
It'll be over soon.
It should all be over soon. At least we'd hope so. I mean, I don't want to get too technical, but you have to look at this and you have to wonder. Cobbs, he just peeks around. He's got 4 kills, bombs down. He doesn't have to go hunting, but as soon as you see that you're on 4 kills, you'd go hunting, wouldn't you?
He wants this ace. He's probably been in the deathmatch server, or USP pistol deathmatch, just working on his aim right now. Like,
you can even see the Blitz.
He was probably shaking as he took that shot. Like, I'm going to get an ace on a pistol round.
It was as if Blitz actually tried to just sort of play that for him as well. Blitz just sort of played that bait and switch, knowing he was coming up from behind, and instantly, it's just sort of showing that teamwork that LoL 123 are obviously trying to work with. will be a 3 MAC-10s coming out. Cobbs, no wonder he's brought out an AK. I mean, he can afford to, as peeking around, playing a little bit towards that top mid area. James will get away. We'll just be looking, and still got both those AKs will be on the hunt. Andy just playing around that smoke. He's going to take a little bit of damage, but gets away. He is the only player without armor on this dark-sided team. Here's that P250 as well. But Void and James playing an almost bait-and-switch angle around the hay bales, as we will be seeing a single player from Law 123 make that push up towards the top of Banana, and they will be coming. 3 players heading around towards the arch side. That'll be Lonsdale, drops Andy. Lons now has a free arch side to push, possibly CT, but instead they will focus all their might on the A site, looking to push through. James will be holding on site. He's spotted out. He will drop at the hands of Soju. Nice work from him. Noisia on the flank, picks up one, looking for a second, gets the second onto Cobbs. My goodness, Blitz will get SK. Noisia still holding in there, but he's going to fall to the hands of Lonsdale. Void looking for a double, gets the tag onto Blitz, down to 2 points of health. Stat peeking around. He will have spotted Void. Void just looking for anything. He doesn't have a weapon to get his hands on. Pushing up. 3 bullets. He needs to make every single one count. He doesn't even want to try for Stat here. Blitz still in the smoke. He will have heard him behind him, but Stat will peek. Void will fall. And LOL 123 will pick up their second round. Losing 3 players in that as well. Noisia with lovely 2 digs. Void gets a single, almost picks up that double, and it could have possibly changed it almost all around, as we will be heading through. No rifles yet for Dark-Sided.
No.
We'll just be sticking with those MAC-10s on the side of Lot 123, keeping both AKs up. And now a nade straight over towards top Banana. That'll be SK and Andy. Stat Kobe with Void. Noisia and James now left. Void, I really want to see him get something here with this Zeus. As these flashes come over, James is going to fall to the hands of Cobbs. Void, no! Can't drop Blitz. Doesn't even get the tag on him. And Noisia forced back onto site. 1 versus 5. A position we saw him in on the pistol round as well. Except nobody's looking for an ace this time.
Well, that's the problem. You might be playing you might be playing amazing, right? But you're the B anchor. You're holding the B site, and all the fighting is happening everywhere else across the map. You just can't be you can't be everywhere at all times.
Well, you kind of can be, but I suppose the key thing here is that only Noisia and Void have actually picked up any kills so far, and I do actually wonder whether we're going to see much more come out of this. Law 123 sticking with those MAC-10s. This could be, I suppose, the start for Dark-Sided to bring back into this. It is their rifle round to win. Andy is on that orb, gets flashed, and has to back away straight away to Archside. Gives up a lot of that mid control, and essentially allows Law 123 to push into apartments unscathed. Look for at least someone, but a 4-man stack, sorry, 3-man stack over towards A. 2 players still sitting on B, as 3 of those T's will be pushing straight out carpet. Nobody towards B at all for Law 123 will be absolutely crucial. And it's actually 2 MAC-10s and a single AK looking to push out of apartments, in comparison to seeing all 3 MAC-10s possibly just roll out in waterfall. Soju will be that 3rd MAC-10 playing from top mid. Smoke's going over, covering off all angles. James looking for one, will be able to drop Blitz. Looking for Stat, will drop him as well. Looking to pick up Lonsdale. He's not going to be able to get that just yet. Lonsdale looking around. James will fall, but Cobbs and Lonsdale now have to find all these kills. Need to pick up both SK and Noisia. 2 very experienced players on this Dark-Sided roster. Noisia will just be peeking around, looking to find at least one of these players. Try and get this early kill. No kits on either of the players, so this could be absolutely crucial. And smoke will go down. Noisia knows where SK is coming from. They know that they have to pincer in these players. Lonsdale caught on top of the box, and that'll be him picking up the kill onto SK. No! Noisia, he does manage to finish off Cobbs. Lonsdale's going to drop down, and no, he's going to hide in behind the pillar. Just pushing up. Noisia will get in there, will be able to get on the bomb. No! Yes! Will get on the bomb. Oh, I didn't know if he was going to find it.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on the way that Cobbs played that pit, revealing himself. flag. Oh! he didn't know where the bomb was. He didn't have enough time to defuse. No kid. Oh, wow. They just did enough to be able to win the round. It's good to see LOL123 winning these games. I mean, that was beautiful play behind the pillar. He tried to stay alive as long as he possibly could. You know, if he had faced that duel, the guy probably would have been able to get onto the bomb sooner. So it was a good play. Lonsdale, yeah.
I mean, at least on a positive note, James got a couple of kills.
Yes, but what's also really positive is that there's a bit of luck going LOL123's like way this week. Last week we didn't see that. We saw the clock run out. We saw them not checking corners. This week, they're already ahead.
Yes, they're doing a nice little bit of work. Andy looking for a player towards top mid, but there is yet to be a player up there. LOL123 have got 5 players, not a single one towards B. Possibly going to go on that hunt now. Noisia will be that lone player on top of SK's head. As these boys, I would actually like to see them run boost over the wall and just annihilate Stat here. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see that happen. They will just back out, and Noisia spots out Stat, gets some bullets thrown at him, and will be able to avoid it. Andy, he's going to look for a kill here, but Blitz is very much ready for him. Former teammates on an old Funky Monkeys roster, alongside Stat as well. And very much hoping that we're going to see a bit of magic come through. James holding that tight angle. Oh! Through the wall as well. Drops Lonsdale. No, won't be expecting Andy here. He'll drop Soju. Blitz is looking. Stats picked up the double. And instantly gets LOL123 back into it. Void has dropped Cos, but Blitz annihilating Noisia leaves it down to that 2v2. Void has got his hands on the weapon. He'll drop Blitz and he'll drop Stat. Lovely work from Void, picking up the triple. James and Andy chiming in as well.
Yeah,
lovely shots with the Deegs.
The headshot from James was great. Getting the first frag, it makes all the difference.
It also meant that they didn't get a chance to check Andy out, which allowed him a free frag as well. Finally, they both got traded back, but it just allowed so much more damage to be spread out over the other ends of the map. And does see LOL123 pull out that AWP onto Blitz. Andy peeking top banana, taking a lot of burn damage. He's going to drop down to 50 points of health. Looking for something. James has managed to drop Blitz. Instantly, the CT is retaliating with a lot of aggression, and it is paying off for them. Soju looking to push out Boiler. Will be able to push it around, wrap that diggity area. Stat to a single point of health. Give him a little hug, and he'll fall, but instead Andy decides, you know what, I'll just shoot you with an AWP. Cleans him all up. Now a 3 versus 5, dark-sided. Whilst it's only one round that they've picked up so far, I'd like to say I feel like they're finding their footing.
Well, it's good to get the first 2 kills, especially with James opening up in middle. It's what we need to see from him, because he's a big-time player, and we haven't seen that in recent weeks. He's obviously got his confidence back. He's prepared for tonight, and he doesn't want to let tonight go.
No, Cobbs will be peeking around. SK is just hiding up on the box. And Cobbs just having a sneaky peek. Seeing if he can find anyone. Soju does still have only that UMP, so maybe key to heading in first. Indeed he does, but he falls at the hands of SK. Cobbs is able to get that trade back. Void's going to fall as well. Leaves it down to that 2 versus 2. Lonsdale heavy tagged. Andy has to come in with an AWP and only a small amount of armor. Noisia gives away his position as well. Lonsdale, whilst he is tagged, none of those bullets will connect. Cobbs will have spotted Noisia. No, don't know if he caught him crossing over, but Andy will look to peek this one out. Cares towards Pit, but needs to be careful of Cobbs. Doesn't spot him out. He is just going to stay down. Lonsdale holding this angle. Noisia needs to peek this nicely. Noisia's going to fall. Andy, he has the AWP. He just wants to get out of there. He needs to save that now. No kit, no clue. LOL123 will pick up their 5th round.
I can't believe it. They got the first 2 frags. That was a 5v3. They gave them diggity control completely. They practically gave them the first step of a site. Very surprised with that. Almost a little bit scared. But again, Cobbs stepping up. And I think that's the secret of LOL123. It's getting Cobbs and it's getting Blitz into the game. These 2 players can be monsters. Right now, we're seeing that from Cobbs with the ace and with that huge play just then to secure the A side. He's the guy that we're going to be watching throughout this match. If he can stay in it, LOL123 are going to close this game.
Yeah, they should have it relatively easy as Stat just going to clear off that top banana area. Andy's still holding the angle. The AWP does absolutely zilch. As Darksided get that first frag, leaves them with a wide open B site. Single smoke down to cover off CT. And Darksided, you feel like they're already saving.
I'm very surprised with how slow Low 123 are following up after that AWP kill. It's clear that there was no evidence of support. They should have played that a lot quicker, I think, on that information, because a pistol player would have gone for that AWP straight away. Follow through, a little bit faster with their decision making, would have been a lot better.
At the same time...
Sorry to interrupt, but I was just thinking to myself, Low 123 is still a team without an AUG. I would have been surprised if they were going for Darksided. There might have been a bit of a split there. This could be a bit of a grudge match, like, hey guys, you picked the wrong team. We're the ones that you should be looking at.
Why has Cobbs only got a Glock? I don't know. Either way, SK's going to pick up a double. Lonsdale's managed to drop Noisia. Instant push. Soju will be able to drop Void. And already this save not looking too good. There are still two players back around that T-Apps area. Peeking towards top mid. That'll be Blitz dropping SK. Soju looking, hunting for James. He'll keep the FAMAS alive. But a very much failed save attempt. May have actually gone better just going on the hunt, trying to just find a few kills, whether they're going to get that defuse or not.
Look at that CT economy. How poor are they? Far out.
Actually, I have to point out that if LoL 123 get to 8 rounds, they've actually won the game. If they get to 8 rounds, Darksided can't get any more than 7. If Darksided don't get any more than 7, 16-7. Just a point that I have to put out.
Oh.
You know, try and keep up with that trend. Be interested to see if maybe for the next few weeks everything will be 16-7. Highly doubt it. But I'd be interested to see. Darksided, they are going to still have James up with that FAMAS. They're playing a very default setup, which I find interesting for this sort of eco. I would have thought they'd play more default with the force buy that they had up before behind the AWP. Guess not, hoping that the AWP was that one-hit wonder. But James holding on. Going to take a lot of damage there, but still manages to pick up Soju. We'll be able to back away and try and push back through Library. Blitz now has to wonder what sort of weaponry he'll be running into as he spots out SK and drops him. Noisia still sitting on top of the bin. James through the smoke drop. Stat, lovely work. Lonsdale's dropped Noisia. And now 3 versus 3. Lonsdale's heavy tagged. And James trying to get a bit of damage off through that stained glass wall.
It's really good to see James doing damage with a 3K.
No, he can't come out with an ace here. Blitz is going to be holding off, looking for him here. Indeed, he will drop him. And prevents the ace, but Void through the flash. Leaves himself in a 1 versus 1. Taps the bomb. Looking for Cobbs. Cobbs, he slightly peeks. He doesn't give it anything. He's on it again. He will fall at the hands of Cobbs. But James already coming out with a triple kill. It's like 3 more in a single round than the entire game last week.
It's really good to see him back in the game. Here's a turning
Top
point for Darksided
for his team.
But Cobbs right now is on fire, and it's good to see Blitz getting those AWP kills where it's needed. The entry on B's site. Teammates are able to follow through. They're hugging him. He gets the entry. They follow through. It's really good to see. I'm really impressed with the LoL 123 we're seeing this week. It's so much better than last week. I really liked them last week, and it's good to see they're not making any mistakes.
I actually find it rather interesting. I mean, I've just seen before that, we saw that Andy had actually glass cannoned an AWP. It's not yet coming out, I suppose, too positive for them, and we've heard that it is, in fact, a tactical pause from LoL 123, so I have to wonder if they're just sort of realizing they're at a point. They've got a little bit of strength in behind their buys. They know exactly what they're doing. Maybe they're expecting this buy to come out from Darkseid, and maybe they're actually looking for a way to counter it.
Well, last week we saw LoL 123 start on CT. So maybe it was, it would have been more beneficial for them to play T side. Maybe they're more comfortable on the T side. A little bit more flow, but this is really impressive from them. And considering Inferno's a CT side of map, Darkseid will be shaking in their boots.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to start T side because they don't expect to maybe get too many rounds up against LoL 123 early. But LoL 123 playing an aggressive T side are already getting just absolutely huge amounts of success. We can see so far 7-1 lead. Maybe they've been listening. They're just like, you know what, we've got 7. We just need to make sure they don't get the 16. We just need that 8. They can't get the 16. Either way, there will be 3 players around those apartments areas looking to play possibly towards top mid. Blitz will just back off. Lonsdale firing off a few shots. Won't be able to find anything as the bomb just makes its way back down towards bottom mid. And it looks like it may even be a banana hit. Andy, as I said, with the glass cannon AWP. Glass cannon being that he has absolutely no armor behind it. Be interested to see how he plays if this push comes up, especially with Lonsdale on that rifle. Andy, he's actually going to go wider and look for Blitz. But Soju, no, he's going to peek as well. And, oh my goodness, Andy will be able to hit the first shot. That's perfect work. At least gives him a room, I suppose, back into this round. Blitz holding that angle on James. Blitz is going to get caught with a Molotov out, but instantly Lonsdale's there to try and trade the damage, but absolutely nothing comes through. James gets a little bit of a tag down. Voids drop Lonsdale. That's the bomb. Falling down. We'll get back into the hands of, I believe, Blitz. But all 3 players looking to push onto A. Blitz is going to fall. James gets another. Cobbs drops Void. He falls. James on a double. James looking for some more. The transfer stat brings it to that 1 versus 2. Tries to plant. Noisia will finish him off. And Dark-Sided pick up their second round.
Man, Stat almost turned that around. He obviously didn't realize how slow they were to get onto the A site because he thought he killed all the A site players. If he had been ready, he might have taken him out as well and been in a 1v1. But what a transfer! That second headshot, wow, they're on point. But Dark-Sided, they won that round. Team play, like, good trading.
Yeah, Andy, he's going to be playing towards top mid. The flash comes through, just avoids it rather nicely. And as it is, 4 players straight up towards banana. A little bit of noise being made towards mid, possibly trying to get that rotation through from one of those CT players, but they are just holding him very much down that CT alley, so he's free to rotate towards both B and A relatively smoothly. But instead, he is actually just going to head straight towards his B site, and they've actually managed to call this rather nicely. Cobbs is going to peek out, make a little bit of noise. Isn't going to force that player to rotate back yet. And that's going to be crucial. SK spotted out Lonsdale. We'll pick up 1, 2, 3! Blitz! We'll be able to drop him. James gets that trade back.
Oh, I love those eco frags. No armor. Oh, they all lined up perfectly. SK. My man.
I know they say double and triple peak, but that was just taking it a bit too far.
This guy's shooting hoops for fun.
Either way, it does pick up Dark-Sided's 3rd round. They will have Law 1, 2, 3 coming back out with those AKs. And I do wonder if Dark-Sided made the most of Law 1, 2, 3's tactical pause, having a bit of a chat between themselves as well. Being in a little bit of an awkward position, Stat trying to survive between the 2 Molotovs. The flash comes around. He's getting absolutely bombarded, but so is SK and Noisia. SK does get the trade back though, but he's tagged down. Instantly, James holding on to Diggity. That'll be Void dropping Soju. And down to that 4 versus 3. Void, he actually avoided that Molotov perfectly. James drops Lonsdale, was expecting a second player to push. Blitz puts his flash up. James still looking. Void up top. Blitz will drop him. My goodness, James with a single point of health. Cobbs and Blitz now. You'd say they almost have the advantage just from the simple amount of health they have.
Right now, they're sitting tight. They're hoping the CTs are going to be peeking for information.
And they are. Cobbs will drop SK. 101 points of health left on this Dark-Sided team. Sadly, an entire 100 of those do sit on Endy's shoulders, but he's managed to get himself down towards T-Ramp. He'll drop Blitz. He'll drop Cobbs. Lovely work. He gets himself in there. James can stay alive. And Dark-Sided pick up a 4th round that so nearly could and should possibly have gone in Lot 123's favour.
I really think they made a bad decision falling back to B. If they followed through with the kill, they know James is isolated on A. They know he was heavy tagged. That's a bit of information that you should have utilised.
I do wonder if they know that James is backed off into apartments, they can essentially take that A site. They know that if Andy's going to be anywhere other than annihilating Stead in this round, he'll most likely be holding that arch side, leaving that Diggity side just easy enough to force. Void is able to drop Blitz as well. Picks up Cobbs. James, he'll finish off Soju. Law 1, 2, 3 are, I'm not saying giving it up, but it doesn't feel like they're entirely in this right now.
They've really turned the pressure off. The CT players have been able to get a first pick on Boiler almost every round, and in the last round we saw Andy AWPing from down Banana. If he can make that statement all game. And if he gets confident with the AWP, he's a game changer because he's a dominant player. I mean, some people refer to him as one of the best AWPers in Australia, so we don't want him getting hot for LoL 1, 2, 3 anyway.
No, as Andy, he's just going to hold on. He's actually playing a really awkward angle in Boiler and just might actually drop Soju. Indeed, he does, backs out, gets himself away, and that's a nice little bit of teamwork there as they will be able to combine. James will drop Lonsdale, but Blitz is there for that trade back. Putting down the Molotov. Andy looking for something around the flames. But Blitz, he's got a little bit of control of that Diggity side. Stat, looking to find SK. We'll just put down the Molotov. SK gonna push through it. SK will be able to drop Stat. Looking for the second. Cobbs gets him through the smoke. 2 versus 3. This is entirely playable for LoL 1, 2, 3. The bomb is up there. And Noisia will be hunting for this player. If he even taps that bomb, it's almost a guaranteed kill for Noisia. Blitz rotating up Banana as well. We'll be putting a smoke down, trying to assist his teammate. As Cobbs just spots out and drops Noisia. It was not the aggression he was expecting. Essentially allows for a free plant as Andy gets his rotation through. Cobbs will just guarantee his safety from construction and plant this bomb. Cobbs gets a single flash out, gets the second flash going around. Possibly looking to push towards CT himself. Void and Andy, the 2 players. Andy still has that AWP. Doesn't really have an awful lot to play with. Void looking to come around. Push that construction side. Will be getting around on towards that bomb. Both players have kits. A key figure at the moment, but the bomb is planted. Andy will be looking, drops Blitz. Will fall at the hands of Cobbs. Void will drop him. Will get on the bomb. Guarantees another round for Darksided. 7-6. Darksided with the last 5 in a row.
Well, Cobbs and Blitz, I mean, they're the 2-star players for LoL 1, 2, 3. They should really be closing that out. They got a great entry, great pick on B with Noisia. They should have won that round. They didn't. But maybe they've just lost a bit of confidence.
I do wonder if they maybe give the CTs a bit too much time to rotate their longs. You know, going a little bit overboard. But Stat, he's going to try and make this push up Banana yet again. He's got flashes. We are into the 14th round. So whichever way this goes, LoL 1, 2, 3 with that loss bonus should have at least something to buy out in the 15th. Andy spotted out and dropped by Stat. Nice aggression. Early push, checking sandbags, making sure it's all cleared. Noisia will put down another incendiary. Players, however, already ever so slightly fallen back. Stat ready to just get out of there. Cobbs will get himself up onto the balcony. James making a lot of noise towards mid. No damage really traded there. SK dry peeks that. No reason to, and he's got Noisia there, but Noisia will trade 2 back. Instantly removing that disadvantage. And you have to wonder which side this LoL 1, 2, 3 side will be heading towards. As Noisia's actually going to rotate off himself. He's going to be heading back all the way towards CT. Out towards A as Lonsdale will drop James. And the bomb will have a choice of going to either side. They know that Noisia was that B side player. Void left 1 versus 3. As we say, LoL 1, 2, 3.
Wow,
8 rounds.
7-1 lead. From a 7-1 lead to 8-6. Finally, they've got the momentum back. These CT players, they're doing a lot of dry peaks, early aggression, and LoL 1, 2, 3 are just sitting and waiting. The CTs are coming into their line of sight, and they're getting their pick. It's really opening the game up for LoL 1, 2, 3. Darkside would have probably be a lot better if they were using more team flashes to assist their teammates getting into these positions. Giving too much comfort to LoL 1, 2, 3. Interesting to see what we're coming into this round.
Does SK being alive, say for instance Noisia gives him that team flash, does SK being alive assist Noisia there? Does it lead to more in that late game of that round?
It was great work from Noisia. I mean, he did that work with the information that he gathered, but it was just his skill that won the 2 kills.
Yeah, and if they combine the teamwork with the skill, possibly even better.
Wow.
Void is going to fall at the hands of Soju. Soju
Love
waiting
that
for
pace.
SK. SK's going to peek into him. He does get the kill. SK will be looking for Cobbs if he peeks around, but no, Cobbs just backs away. SK looks away at the wrong time as well. Bit of a time game for both these players. James just riding the bicycle, getting a little bit of exercise into those legs as he waits for these players to push out on towards A. But the bomb still sitting halfway down Banana. Andy slightly smoked off, but it won't do enough to stop Cobbs from dying. Don't know if it was a poor smoke or deliberate, but either way, it's allowed Lonsdale through towards CT. Don't know why he's pulled the knife out, possibly looking for a flank on Andy, but Andy's already backed out. He's gone. Blitz is going to fall at the hands of SK. A 4 versus 2. Darksided's to lose at this moment. Lonsdale is in library. The bomb probably needs to come Diggity side to see if we can get a pick, but it will be SK dropping Lonsdale. The bomb will in fact come Dig side, but Stat, no, James is going to miss that shot. Stat looking for absolutely anything. He's only got 18 seconds. He will be looking. SK with the USP. And Darksided pick up 7. Closest half we've had so far.
Yeah, low 1, 2, 3. They're still actually making a lot of mistakes. That boiler has been troublesome for them. They're too slow to get out the door. They keep getting killed in that little doorway. They need to eliminate that from their game. Darksided, again, like they have individual players stepping up. James has been influential. Andy, Noisia, like those guys. Even Void. These guys have been doing they've been getting good multi-kills, making 2 frags in quick succession. It's good to see. We're heading into this pistol round with a fast play on B.
Andy pushing through. SK and Andy both there. The frag, no, 1 kill for Blitz. Andy will be able to drop Stat, but my goodness, he should have made more of that position as Noisia will be able to drop Lonsdale. Blitz gets a second. Could this be another pistol round ace coming through for Law 1, 2, 3?
Whoa!
No! James, what a flick onto Soju. Cobbs tapped 2! My God, Cobbs! Out flyer, James! He still has that clock. Cobbs 2 points of health. The bomb rotating straight out, down towards that A site. Oh, my goodness, the pistol gods. Either way,
Cobbs
James
is hard on his tail now. He knows he's gone to the A site.
James has a free plant, and if he can get into at least a semi-decent post-plant position, the Glock will be looking good, but the problem is Cobbs is going to be coming through apartments. James possibly still expecting him coming CT or dig side. Mid is an option for Cobbs. Just looking. Will be able to drop into pit. Needs to make the most of the timing here. James is still sitting out towards boiler. Cobbs just looking. Needs to tap this bomb. Needs to pull James out from somewhere. May as well even just stick it. James is going to push around. He knows where he is. It's going to be James winning this round out. Drops Cobbs, but my goodness, those taps.
Wow. How are these pistol rounds? Always exciting. I love the pistol round.
Flick from James just starts it off. Cobbs, my goodness, picks up the double. That is
Huge.
outstanding.
Back and forth, back and forth.
I'd like to point he's 20 and 11. 7 of those kills have been over the 2 pistol rounds.
Yes. Huge.
13 kills over the other, you know,
What a
16,
player.
15 rounds. It's like, my goodness, as the T's, Darksided will be looking to push up towards this B site early. Lonsdale takes a lot of damage. Cobbs has pulled out a Mag 7. Andy will be able to drop Stat, looking to push around. Lonsdale with the deagle, pushing in close. Andy with the jumping headshot. And
Check out my parkour.
My goodness. Soju and the remaining 2 CTs will both be holding out towards the A side, trying to save what they've got. Cobbs, should they get too close to him, does have that Swag 7. I wonder if he's actually got a Swag 7 skin. They have made that an official. I'd be interested to find out as Soju will fall. Andy will just peek around looking for something. Blitz checking around the site, looking for absolutely anything he can get. Blitz spots Andy. We'll get a little bit of damage off. will get the headshot. It's one kill. Blitz will just put the smoke out. Reveals his position. SK can just push in on him if he so desires. Cobbs. Oh, it's a storm. I was really hoping it'd be the Swag 7. Either way, just holding close in Boiler. Annihilates Void. Second player pushes up. SK will drop Blitz. And Cobbs, got to be expecting SK up here. Hits him! My goodness, these Mag 7 kills are beautiful. James and Noisia have both left this B site wide open, but I mean, hey, they know where Cobbs is. They don't have too much to worry about.
Hey, he's getting to keep that and going into the next round, and that's exactly what he wanted. He's gonna own those halls, own carpets. That's what he wants.
He upgraded to UMP.
Oh, I'm a little bit sad about that.
I would like to just see him play another close position. I would like to see him behind the brick wall on B. Just play there and just boom, 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 boom. Pick up 2-3 kills there. Either way, we now see Dark-Sided pick up a lead for the first time this entire game.
Yeah, it could be a T-sided game. Both these teams might be more comfortable on the AK.
Yeah, Mac 10's looking to do a lot of damage here, but it is a 5-man stack towards B. How long will it take Dark-Sided to figure this out, though? As they aim for their push in. Void going to get up close, picks up one. Noisia drops one. That'll be the push through. Void, no, yes, no. Blitz will drop him. But now, Cobbs. Not much you can do when Andy's just walking towards you, spraying around the corner.
Well,
and BMing.
They got the stack. That was the best thing they could. They just couldn't do anything with it.
Indeed, as we now see some rifles come out. Blitz gets onto that AWP. Lol, 1, 2, 3. Now have to look to regain control of this map.
Well, I was a little bit disappointed with the way that Andy took control of the AWP on the CT half, so it'll be interesting to see how Blitz can bring himself into the game.
Blitz actually gets flashed and holds the angle just for that extra second, trying to see if he can maybe find the frag on the player trying to peek him. Gets a little bit unlucky holding down the right side, but shouldn't be of too much concern to him, as these players will have only disadvantage being Void with a UMP. SK, oh, just spots out Lonsdale. Lonsdale does a little bit of damage to him. Backs away. And Molotov's coming over, still hitting this B site nice and hard. A lot of damage taken, 20 points of health left on SK. And
oh! What?
Oh!
Oh my god! TK with knife! Oh, you gun switcher!
My goodness, James!
He's actually quite famous for that, switching to his knife. Oh!
He just wanted to get out of there, and then...
He just wants to be the talk of the town, that's all he wants to be. Far out!
Oh, there was the chat about his ego being, I suppose, relatively large earlier. Maybe he just does want to be in all of the highlight reels. Or possibly it's a low light reel, who knows? As Noisia will be able to spot out stat, brings it back into a positive at least for the Dark-Sided boys. Blitz annihilates Void, expecting these players to push through. That'll be Soju dropping James. Andy's going to peek out, but he doesn't drop him. Does take Blitz down with him. Soju's going to fall. Cobb's now left 1v2, but if there's a man you want in this situation, it's probably not him walking straight into the AWP.
Back and forth we go. It looks like low 1, 2, 3 is going to close the round,
So,
and then
okay,
Dark-Sided come back.
Hold up. James.
No.
Has he hit... I wonder if he's hit a jump throw bind.
Because
that's one way to jump and throw the match.
Yeah.
Either way, Andy will be holding towards top mid. Won't have spotted any players crossing. And we'll just move towards that banana position. James is able to drop Blitz. Makes up for it at least a little bit. Nice and early into this round. Pushing around. SK looking. Will drop stat. Looking for a second player. Possibly around sandbags. There won't be anyone there. Lonsdale. Maybe if he can just hit a couple digs with the cross. But no, he will just give it up. Head round through construction. See if he can maybe catch a player as they aim for the plant. But the key now is that Dark-Sided. Lovely work from SK. Dark-Sided have actually turned what was a 6-round deficit into a 3-round lead.
Incredible.
And what should now be a 4-round lead.
they would be very confident right now. James is getting the entry frags that he needs, whether it's on his teammates or the opposing team. He's doing a good job. He is actually doing work for his team tonight, which is what we really needed to see.
Yes, indeed, as Void has actually pulled out the SG. Ah, he spotted out Cobbs, and he'll drop him. As Law 1-2-3 now full 4 rounds behind.
But yeah, we really have that feeling right now, right? The momentum is on Darksiders. It's on their side. Darksiders' side. It's really hard to see how Law 1-2-3 can come back from this.
You just can't fight the feeling.
Yeah, it's just going by the feeling of the match. They haven't really offered much on the CT side.
James will get the smoke straight up towards top mid as Flashes head on out. He'll be looking to get a little bit aggressive, try and push up if he can, but instead just backs out almost immediately. Nades down, Banana to hold Andy off. SK takes a little bit of damage from them. Splits just puts down a smoke, and it looks like Darksided aiming towards possibly even the A site. They have that player pushing towards Carpet. If he's able to get a little bit of control, it could be the keys, but Nausea may even drop into Boiler. Possibly look for something. A little bit of noise being made. The bomb left towards bottom Banana. The Soju will just be able to put that smoke down, try and hold these the T's off. But the only problem, it's going to be a little bit awkward. There's a lot of utility that's being used and blown very early, and now Law 1-2-3, they've got nothing to really hold these T's back, except for a couple of Molotovs.
Right now they're just sitting at a defensive CT setup. This is what they do really well. They don't give away the pick, but they don't make it easy for the terrorists to know where to go.
Interesting place to put that Molotov, but it does force Andy closer. Andy will drop one in Blitz. Soju gets a trade back. James will drop one. Noisia and SK pick up the final few kills. Lonsdale falls. And Darksided are now on an absolute roll. They started CT side. We said, why have you done that? You're not very good at it. They've actually come through now. They've proven, hey, maybe we're a little bit okay on the CT side, and are absolutely steamrolling the last 6 rounds here. Oh, sorry, even the first 6 rounds on this T side.
That was incredibly flat from Law 1-2-3 on their defense. To be able to just walk onto B site, point your crosshair at a player and start shooting before he even realizes he's visible. It's not what you want.
No, as Blitz just going to miss out on a kill on James. 4 players pushing Banana yet again, and they know they can take advantage of this. Void drops Lonsdale. Stats able to get a 1D onto Handy. And Blitz looking to come through on the rotate. Stat! Oh my goodness! Picks up the second. Looking for a third. Void will drop him with that SG. Almost a common weapon for him now. And a miscommunication from the T's. They've just wasted a single, at least one smoke. Dropping 2 down for CT. Noisia expecting possibly the boost over. Spots Blitz and drops him. And expecting the player underneath as well. Soju will get away unharmed. 2 players with 2 CZs. Darksided looking for that 14th. AK's looking alright. Void instantly able to just tap the heads. And Soju now left. Gonna lose out.
Domination.
Finally, we're actually seeing a few kills come through on this SG.
I'm blown away right now with how Darkside is playing. And I'm gotta say, I'm quite disappointed in the way that Law 1-2-3 are playing. But we have to be impressed with Darksided. All their players are stepping up tonight. They're all playing well. This is so much better than last week. To be able to bounce back, that's what we want to see, and that's what we need to see.
I have to wonder if I'm amazed about how well Darksided are playing, or at the drop-off from Law 1-2-3 into their CT half. Blitz is going to come through with that first pick nice and early. The 3-man stack towards top Banana. I mean, you could say it pays off, but it still only needed the single player there anyway. It's not a huge issue as Andy tries for that refrag. Won't be able to spot anyone out. Stat just boosts up the AWP. Andy will back away. Leaves it open. Blitz taking a lot of damage. Is going to be forced down from the wall. Interesting how fire spreads upwards like that. On concrete. CSGO physics, we love you. James, possibly looking to push this smoke with the assistance of Andy's flash. Does get up a little bit. Blitz. Oh, I'd love to see him just pop a shot off. Don't believe he hit James there. But he will be able to back off onto site, and already that 3-man stack is turned down to 2 people. Already that player rotating towards A. 50 seconds on the clock for Darksided to play with, and they are stacked towards the top of the A site. James will get rid of at least one of those weapons. Noja just going to be looking to pop out carpet. Looking for whatever they can get. Lonsdale is directly underneath the balcony. Here's the flash from his teammate. Void. Where is Void just sitting on top of Dick? Void's gotten boosted up onto the planters. James on the flank will be able to pick up Soju. Noja drops Lonsdale. Void's boost isn't even needed. Cobbs on site picks up 1. He'll be looking for some more. Lord Void is trying to peek around into him. That'll be a kill for him. And now Blitz and Stat left 2 versus 3. It's entirely plausible that they make this retake happen. Void will put the flash out. Drops Blitz. And now that single player left coming from top mid. Stat, he's just got to back away. He's got to play essentially almost 4 in overtime here. He's got no chance of getting on that bomb. Is this Darksided having a near flawless T-side?
Exactly. Or LoL 123 just not really sure of how to play. I'm actually really disappointed in their defensive structure. They gave jungle all the way up to library with very little nades or spam or crossfires or anything. He was able to walk up and shoot a player in the back of the head. It's very poor form.
I have to wonder, as Stat will be looking to drop Noja. Does get the kill. Can upgrade to the AK. I do have to wonder, maybe that's why Darkseid decided on CT side. They know it's a poor side, so they at least give that chance, maybe just to warm up their aim against how LoL 123 are playing. And maybe just see if they can, I don't know, I suppose warm themselves into the game, try and get themselves moving. All of a sudden they come out on this T side, and they're absolutely just destroying. 8 rounds in a row from the start of the pistol. I don't even know. It's absolutely outstanding as they've brought out the double up setup, Void and Andy. They do have LoL 123 pulling out an AWP on the side of Blitz as well.
Oh, Dark-sided tactical pause.
Is this what you call rubbing it in?
Alright, think about that, boys. We're dominating you. What are you going to do? Maybe the LoL 123 are bickering right now. They can't get on top of each other's forts. They can't figure out how to work together. Oh, I thought you had my back. Oh, I was looking at A.
Have you got my back? No, I can't see your back. That's it. I've just been killed.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look good for LoL 123. Darksided, they're on top of their game right now on this T side. They are absolutely loving what they're doing. It's a I suppose a goodbye for LoL 123. The only disappointment being that Soju pulls out of FAMAS. Stat opting to keep a lot of that, I suppose, in his favor. But SK and James picking up the first 2 kills combined. Stat takes a fair amount of damage from that nade. Drop down, forced back. And this B site going to be left almost wide open should he fall. Cobb's getting aggressive out towards those T apartments. If he's able to drop Noja or James here, it'll be absolutely crucial. He'll drop James. Noja can't get that refrag. Maybe expecting the player dropping in from behind as they will be setting up this execute over towards B site. And he goes to that nice little dual peek, looking for one of these players. Will be looking towards coffins, won't find anything. Will be able to just put down that Molotov. Instant push comes through, drops Stat with the headshot. Soju and Cobbs now left 2 versus 4. This should be almost all over in Noja. He's on the flank already. My goodness, I'd love to just see him pull out at least a knife kill. Would be beautiful, but Noja and Andy will do it. They will clean up. Absolutely perfect. Flawless T side. There is nothing more they can ask for. That was the performance of their life.
What was that from last week? Getting absolutely dominated to this against LoL 123. My head's just blowing up right now. That was phenomenal. Not what I was expecting. Is after that pistol round where Cobbs gets a pistol ace.
I don't know how they do it. You just see so much. You saw him get 2 more kills in that pistol round as well. James manages to clutch it out. The man who got absolute donuts last week.
Yeah.
I have to applaud you, James. You've done a good job this week, actually getting some kills. And I know it sounds like we're BMing you, but come on, it's a good laugh. I mean, you can't go
really
from one
bounced back.
performance one week and then absolutely annihilate this week. T-side seems to just be Darkside's strong point, as I like to refer to it as almost an Australian strong point. I like to think that more teams do pick up their T-sided rounds, even if they are still strong on CT. You'll see them pick up a few more T-side. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a great game, and we saw the star player and James really come through for them tonight, and we knew he would bounce back. He is an experienced player with a lot of skill. So, there you go. What I am looking forward to are these LAN finals, when we get these guys here in Sky City. That's going to be exciting, because we're going to be able to catch the emotions of the players on camera, how they communicate and talk to each other. LoL 123, there's got to be some angst between those players, miscommunication, maybe a bit of, bad language, a bit of fire, heated moments.
Words that we can't say on TV.
Words we can't say on TV.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to wonder. They're a team that's been playing together for a long time. You talk about them being orgless, and you have to wonder, they lose to Darksided like that. Is there a reason that they're orgless? Do they need to improve elsewhere? Do they have some more things that they need to sort of build up on, try and sort of keep staying at this consistent level, not dropping when they're playing against teams that are relatively, you consider them close in skill level. But when they do drop down, it just doesn't look pretty for them. And not picking up a single CT round tells me that either they have to work on that CT side on Inferno, their CT side overall, or just,
Yeah, I think with LoL 123, they fall flat doing the same thing over and over. It's quite a slow and boring setup, and they keep dying in the same spots. Like on their T side, we saw players hitting the boiler, which is the door opening up to A and Diggity. We saw a guy die in that doorway like 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
How many times do you have to die the same way to be able to realize it's just not working? You need to accelerate through that point really quickly and play with the aggression through Diggity onto A site. You got to be faster. You got to react faster.
All right, less things less. Did you have a highlight or lowlight from that match?
James with the knife kill, the pistol round. Yeah, my 2 favorites.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, but what I'm going to have to ask is, Dallas, do you agree that James and that knife kill was probably both a high and low light from this map?
Well, thank you very much for that, Nutters, and I do indeed. I mean, we were just having a chat about it before. I mean, how did that even happen? I mean, I think we'll get to that in just a second, but if you're just joining us, we've seen Darksided just take down LoL 123. I mean, after LoL 123 had an absolute cracker of a start, Tom, man, Darksided just fight their way back into this one in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, definitely. As Chris Wayfarer just said before, I felt like the LoL 123 squad really just played a very stale game. They sort of did the same thing every round. They started off well. They were up, I think it was 6-1, where they could have really pushed on and had a solid first half. But they sort of, it felt like Darksided sort of catched on to what they were doing. They were playing very, really slow. And Darksided pretty much just steamrolled them from that moment onwards. As you've seen last week, Darksided were very strong on the T side against Corvidae. And they managed to pick up enough rounds on CT this side to really be able to close it out on that T side.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta give it to my man James as well. I was looking forward to it before the game. No 0 kills this week, big entry fragger. But let's have a chat about Andy and Void. Both of them together, were just a force to be reckoned with, picking up. I mean, obviously all the Darksided were amazing, across the board. But those two really stood out to me, obviously, finishing up with the highest amount of kills there. Andy's AWPing, though, was just, on another level.
On point. Yeah, no, I would say that those 2 players are actually probably their best 2 players in terms of statistics and generally getting frags and killing the opponents. So if those 2 players are playing well, then I guess that's exactly what you want in your team. You want your 2 star players, Andy here showing what he can do with the sniper rifle. Andy's a very good sniper rifle player. He's very sharp, very good player. Same with Void. He's, as I mentioned before, he's basically a young gun. He's a young individual who's got very good aim and is very good and looking good for the future.
Yeah, I mean, the standout point there as well is that sort of 2 of those players you mentioned there, James and Andy. James stayed alive in that clip for so long, earlier than obviously what we just saw. So at the start of that round there, James managed to somehow get away with 1 HP, stay in apartments for about 15 to 20 seconds and keep, those players keeping an eye on him, I guess,
keeping
for a
him at
while,
bay
which
for
gave
sure,
Andy that
definitely.
time to rotate around behind them. So, a really good play from both of them there. And I mean, to be down so many rounds, obviously, and to be able to come back is, shows great stuff about Darksider's mentality. For this side of LoL 123, Cobbs was absolutely standout to me there. He came out swinging
hitting
at the
some
start of
lovely
the
shots.
game. How do we feel about that, or was it just the staleness of their plays that were letting them down?
I've said it for a few weeks now. I feel like LoL 123 play a really like one-dimensional style of play. They're very slow. Like they're a methodical team. They have very good teamwork. But I'd just like to see them use their aim a bit more. Like go out for some early picks, or maybe do a fast push, smoke off Diggity, run around jungle, or something like that. I didn't really see anything fast and in your face, which I'd like to see from them coming.
I mean,
into the
that's a
future.
good point as well, because that's what Nutters and Wayfarer were talking about as well. That Darksided on the T side, so very, very strong.
They gave them
And-
no space
yeah.
to move, basically. They were right up in their grill, whereas the T side, LoL 123, sorry, they're very slow,
And I mean, talking about slow though, let's have a look at my favorite round, to be quite honest, from the entire thing. We've got somehow we've got old mate James, somehow just giving SK a little bit of a love tap here.
Yeah,
finds the kill, like, oh, did I really just do that? But the way the rest of the round plays out as well is just wonderful. I think Andy picks up a 3K towards the end of it to win this one out.
Andy, yeah, he's a beast. He really locked it down this round. I think, was it Andy? I think it might have been Noisia that walked into the site here and slapped two of them, now I think about it.
Maybe I'm wrong, mate. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, so Noisia opens this one up like it can.
Yeah, no, that was Noisia popping off this round.
But surely Andy finishes this one off.
Oh, yeah,
they make the comeback,
he closes this one out, yeah.
and this is where he manages to clutch it out. So it's not 3, it's just a 2.
No, I think he might get the third here. Yeah, he does. He orps him.
Okay, so I'll accept the apologies, on air if you'd like. Or
I'm sorry, mate.
thank you.
You were right. I was wrong.
Making me doubt myself. Don't ever do that one again. But yes,
It's a
if you've
shame.
just joined us, LoL 123 losing to Darksided 16-8. Close match and a fun match as well. A lot of great moments like that across the board. But I mean, let's have a look at our results from the night to see how the leaderboard's sort of looking now. So 16-7, Greyhound picking up that win against Tainted Minds. On the other side there, we had Order fighting back against Corvidae, but they were indeed close. Corvidae did pick that one up 16-7. And finally, Darksided and LoL 123. Darksided coming back from a 6-round deficit to win this one out 16-8. And I mean, now we've pretty much got it confirmed. We have a strong feeling who our top 3 teams are going to be. It looks like it is going to be, Greyhound finishing up at first. Tainted Mind and Corvidae in second and third, fighting for that final spot to play Greyhound in the finals. We'll have to wait until next week, though, obviously, to see, the schedule for these games, because obviously still anything can happen. It can muddle the order up a little bit. Do you see Corvidae somehow coming out of nowhere and because I believe they have to play Greyhound next
Greyhounds,
week?
yeah, they got Greyhounds. It's possible, but looking at the way Greyhounds is playing at the moment, I don't see anything but first place for them, in all honesty.
I mean, that would be absolutely amazing, just for the sake of it, just to see Corvidae finish up second.
Oh, it'd be crazy, but
I wouldn't have put my money on that one there. And
you're a betting man.
yeah,
No.
And I guess one more thing to sort of take away as well. What do Tainted Minds need to sort of work on, working towards these finals? Do they have to be scared of Corvidae?
Corvidae, yeah, they do, to be honest with you. Corvidae has shown that they have a lot of fight. They have the individual skill with RBZ, with Iron, with the sniper rifle, but also what surprised me about Corvidae, I feel like their tactics are actually on point. If their tactics are good, they can compete with teams like Tainted Minds and Greyhounds. It just depends if their individual skill and all players are firing on all cylinders, then yeah, definitely I think they can compete.
So, if it is the right day, it's anyone's game, I'd say. I guess for Greyhound, though, they're looking pretty good up at the top now, got their 4 wins. They'll be looking good coming over for the LAN final. So let's have a quick look at the standings just to reiterate that. Just to see, obviously, how these teams did stack up after week number 4. So we see Greyhound sitting strong up the top there. 4 wins, 0 losses. Looking good with their first place position. Now we see Tainted Minds and Corvidae second and third. Round difference just separates them both. Then Darksided picking up their second win tonight. There should be 2 wins right there. And LoL 123 and Order still sitting down the bottom, but more or less, we can see how the pecking order's stacking up. But I mean, next week, we talked briefly about, the Greyhounds versus Corvidae match. That will obviously be, a really big one. We will have a look at the standings in just a moment. Any sort of final points you want to make about tonight's games?
I felt like they sort of went as expected. The first game, I guess, most people, myself included, thought that Tainted Minds would win, but they came out of the blocks really flat. I feel like next time they play Greyhounds, they really need to come out firing and on all cylinders, because playing a team like Greyhounds where their teamwork is on point and then they're ready for all of your sneaky little plays in there, I feel like you really need to be on point. With Order, I would say I'd see signs of improvement from them. They're definitely improving as a team. Their individual skill is showing through, but just maybe a lack of teamwork in some of their games. And for LoL 1-2-3, obviously, I would say that I would like to see them maybe just show a bit more aggression to their game, push through a bit harder. And
so yeah, next week, Corvidae taking on Greyhound Gaming as our first match. Darksided will be up against Tainted Minds. That'll be a good one. And to finish us off at the end of the night, someone's going home with a win. It's going to be LoL 1-2-3 taking on Order. Both of these teams still yet to pick themselves up a win in the tournament. So I can't wait to see that one, to be honest. That's my match of the night, so do stay tuned for that one. That's going to be absolutely great, I think.
Yeah, no, both teams will definitely be wanting to end their season on a high. I don't think they'll want to go a whole regular season without winning a match. So yeah, both of those teams will definitely be up for that one.
All right, well, I can't wait to see you all back here for week number 5. I've been Dallas Easy Fighter.
And I'm Thomas Blackout Richmond.
And from all of us here at the LPL team, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.
Playtech, technology at play. And Logitech G, game with passion, win with science. And Samsung, redefine the game.